3 on 106.3 with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire, and the mechanical mangler at the controls, Flounder. Good to have you aboard, sir. How's everybody doing? Everybody okay? It's a happy Thursday.
Beautiful day.
It actually turned out to be a nice day. I think it's a little cooler, still muggy, and humid, but it seemed slightly better. Braves in town to get one more game with the Yankees. Oh, no, they're off today, aren't they? They're off today. That's right. We swept all three of them. They got the sweep, clean three.
First time ever.
Oh, against the Yankees?
First time the Braves franchise has ever swept them in 3 straight games. Yeah. Because
even Milwaukee and Boston?
Well, they never played them, except for the World Series.
Yeah. In fact, there's our day in history. There's a day Michael Phelps somebody won 8 medals in one day, more than Mark Spitz. And the reason it's first nobody's ever won that many in one event or one day, but of course the reason is that they have that possibility they can swim in that many events. And if you won a gold medal in the NBA, you get 1 medal. You don't. That's all you have is 1 chance to win a medal. But so it's not really fair to compare.
Glenn Campbell once played a guitar. What the hell are you talking? We were talking about the Yankees and the Braves.
I don't care about the Yankees. I hate the Yankees.
Swimming.
I want my.
And you Mark Spitz out of nowhere, like there was anything combining those two or connecting them.
Shut up.
Are you high? What the hell?
I did.
We're 3 minutes in.
I'd like
and
to
you're
be.
off the rails.
What, are you holding something? Hey, Flounder, what do you got in the truck? I don't know.
You're off the rails.
I'm just trying to get it all in because I don't know why.
That's what she said.
Oh, my God.
If he can say that, I can say my chickpea joke.
Oh, yeah, try it. Go ahead. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the key word would be chickpea, as in not necessarily.
Stop it.
Yeah. Anyway, oh, my God. Do we even know what we were just playing here a second ago? Is there any sense into it? I don't know. Something called Tool.
It was bad. I know that.
Do you know this group, Flounder?
Yes, I do.
You do. I'll be down. Now, it says on this day in 2019, now again, Flounder does our music, with my great appreciation. 2019, Tool, their album Fear Inoculum, entered the top 100 at 93, the longest song ever to hit the chart, 10 minutes and 22 seconds, longer than David Bowie's Black Star, which was 9:57. Jeez. Fear Inoculum dropped off the chart the next week, so it was long and bad. So
it sounds like Guadalcanal Diary. Remember them back in the 80s?
Yeah. Now, Flounder, is this a singing? Is this a
it's a rock group, but they're very. I guess what you could call is they're very intricate with polyrhythm. So the drum beat is very, So the drum beat is very mathematical, and they follow the drum beats, and they're very intricate with the way they play.
That's not music, then. That's just math. That's just
they incorporate math into their music for sure. I'm not a giant Tool fan, but I'm a fan. So
a Tool fan,
giant Tool.
No, I'm not the one who said that. Our birthdays include Taissa Farmiga or Farmiga. I don't know how you pronounce that. You know Vera Farmiga?
Yeah,
or Farmiga?
I like her.
She's a doll, and she was in
The Departed,
the Bates Motel movie. She was in the Conjuring movies, and she was in the movie where the George Clooney and the little skinny girl played the singer and the actress, the flying movie where they're salesmen. And he tells her how to pack a bag and all that kind of stuff. And she was the lover in that movie, his lover, and she was in a million things. Well, Vera Farmiga, as you know, she's got to be like 45 or something like that. Taissa Farmiga is 29 years old today. They're sisters.
Yeah.
22 years apart.
Dang.
Think about that. 22 years between pregnancy. She may have had a bunch of others. But that's unbelievable to me. And by the way, speaking of George Clooney movie, last night, in fact, I DVR'd it. I've got it to watch it a little later. Have you ever seen a movie called The American? Okay, hold on. 307. First of all, we have the Department of Justice being sued. The FBI is being sued. We got that for you. Alan Dershowitz is going to make one of the greatest points in history of the world. I'm going to read his comments to you, which puts everything in perspective about the bias in America today. Also, the attorneys are involved in who got their indictments handed down in Fulton County are saying we're just doing our freaking jobs. And honestly, I don't know why every attorney in America isn't just being outraged by this. They were literally doing their jobs. Coming up in a second, some kind of food surprise with Pete Davis.
Yep. I brought in some food, and we're going to eat it.
You'll hear President Pants on Fire once again screaming about how wonderful he is and trying to pick up little girls. You've got a billion things. Archives fights and Anna Navarro's, made fun of Muslims and calling them dirty and filthy. And
when does flirting become harassment?
We're going to do this in tweeting, but we're going to do it in this half hour too. So we got all this stuff coming up. Now, where was I? I have no idea where I was. George Clooney. Among his movie, have you ever heard of the movie called The American? Mm-hmm. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
Flounder, have you ever heard of the movie? Are you a George Clooney fan?
Yeah, there's not a lot of dialogue in that movie. It's just him.
Very different movie. It's a movie about an assassin.
Yeah.
And it's, I guess... to me, I guess his most unusual role. It's a really different kind of a movie too. It's it's set in a foreign England. But anyway, he's an American, but it's very strange. But anyway, Risa mentioned
it's a good movie though.
Oh, it's really a good movie. I really liked it a lot. It was just on, and it's on a couple times. They repeat them on either Showtime or HBO, whatever it was. Might have been Stars. I don't remember. I don't have them all. Anyway, and the girl, if I can find her name now, where's my sheet? I can't find Froggy. Oh, sorry. The starlet girl in there is a hooker. It's a woman that he hires to be his companion while he's murdering people. Is pretty interesting. And her name is Violante Placido.
Yeah, she's hot.
She is gorgeous, and she's all natural. Violante, Violante, and you put that in there. If you Google it, Placido will come up. Violante Placido. And now the picture that first comes up doesn't look like her, but if you have the picture of her in the movie,
there's a couple scenes where
she's just gorgeous. I mean, she's natural and totally stark, whatever. I mean, and she's magnificent. I mean, she's a naturally lovely woman. I would describe her, and she's not like a knockout, high cheekbone.
She's no Lenny Klum.
Well, tell the story about Heidi Klum's daughter.
Daily Mail, TMZ, they've all got Heidi Klum, the famous model, has a daughter who's 19 now. Yeah. And Heidi was always a good-looking woman.
But
she didn't have a figure, really. She was a model.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, she's glamorous.
She doesn't have boobs.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Well, her daughter inherited all the boobs.
Her daughter's magnificent. She's a goddess.
Her face, she's got these Siberian husky-type blue eyes.
She's perfect. She's gorgeous.
She's just gorgeous. The Daily Mail has a whole page pictorial of her.
I know you can't see it.
In a bikini.
You can't see it. You can't watch it. I'm telling you right now. Do not look at it.
Well, not at work because I just stopped for 30 minutes.
Well, why do you think I had 7 minutes of me hallucinating in here? You had the damn thing on your computer screen, and I can see it.
He's in here running down everything we're going to talk about. I'm like, I'm not even here in the room.
He has no idea. Yeah, now blame me. They're turning on me. Oh, my God. Oh, did I even do what I was doing? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chase it for me. We'll get that over here. Now, where's my stuff? Where's my thing? Oh, here we go.
Tiger.
And a quick...
Nobody touch my stuff.
Any you homos. Hey, by the way, I'm going to say homo anytime I feel like it, or queer or anything else.
No, now, queer's back, but I don't think homo is.
Well, no, just wait a minute now. We're supposed to, if the Democrats can, I mean, I'm just following their lead.
Well, you don't say it in a pejorative manner, like you're calling someone that.
That's pejorative, but that's fine with me.
Did you understand what I said?
What's that?
Then we communicated. Now, did we?
The gay couple is back.
There you are.
That's right. The gay couple is back.
Kimmy and Pete.
Live in studio.
I'm on top tonight.
Oh, mercy. Well, now I don't even... 1962. Peter Fechter makes a break for it.
Who?
Peter Fechter makes a break for it, 1962, on this very day. And the world learns more about a nasty part of history that Ronald Reagan helped to dismantle. Fechter was trying to flee East Germany to the west, but there was that wall that had just gone up. East German border guards shot him in the pelvis, which didn't kill him, but he unfortunately fell on the East German side of the wall and lay screaming for help for hours until he bled to death. Since he had not quite made it to the other side, the West Germans could not help him, much like today's Democrats are saying, if it's a Republican, like that innocent Ashley Babbitt going through a window with no arms or anything, then the Democrat police ought to be able to murder her, shoot her in the neck, and kill her, and then blame Republicans. So same kind of, from
if communism is so great, why did it have to build walls to keep people in?
Well, or out. I mean, yeah. That's right. But again, the Democrats have kind of taken up the torch there. Go. Okay, hold on a second. 3:30. God, I can't believe it. We got a card for... and I'm killing myself. I tell you, over my run-in with Veronica. I can't believe it.
What did you do now?
It's coming up, 3:13. 3:13. All right, here we go. It's 3:14. How's it going? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having a very nice day. We got some a pizza prize food thing coming up here in a moment, so don't go anywhere. I was just browsing through AtlantaSafehouse.com. Have you done that lately? And again, I've bought two safes from Atlanta Safe House. Both of them were great big gun safes. In fact, one I gave to my producer, Wayne, no offense. But again, the reason for that was because obviously I had firearms. And if you're particularly a new firearm owner, and maybe your husband or wife or kids are a little nervous about it and you take care of security, absolutely. And not only, you don't only have to get those 8-foot things like a banker, spin in the wheel, stuff like that. They have pistol safes and safes of all kinds and shapes and sizes, protecting your assets at Atlanta Safe House. All the top brands: Browning, Fort Knox, American Security, rifle safes and pistol safes and jewelry safes and business safes and high security safes and safes to keep things like I should have done with my medical records, which I couldn't find when I went down to Florida, and things like your Social Security card and maybe marriage documents or divorce medical records for your kid, all that stuff. Protect your assets. And by the way, just go spinning through the website, AtlantaSafehouse.com, and you can see what they have for you, including, how about a family storm shelter? Talk about safety, holy smokes. They've got it all. Please tell them the Kimmer sent you. Lock them up, not just a Biden crime family. All your important stuff, your assets. Tell them the Kimmer sent you to AtlantaSafehouse.com. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Philander at the controls. Now, this has a beat, no question. I have no idea what he's saying, but it's a musical song of some sort. I'm sorry. I have no idea what the man is saying.
Every Little Step You Take. It was a pretty big hit.
I remember it was an enormous hit. Wasn't he beating the crap out of her when he sang this song and we played this for?
There's a version of him doing this song live on an MTV Movie Awards, and he literally drops his bag of cocaine onto the floor, and you see him pick it up.
Well, you don't want to just leave it there.
Who is it?
Somebody might take it.
Bobby Brown.
Oh. Bobby Brown on this day, again, 2009, there was an arrest warrant issued for Mr. Bobster after he failed to show up at a court hearing involving his child maintenance payments. It sounds like our Senator Raphael Wifeknocker, who ran out the back door of his house when the process server showed up to get him to start paying child support, and he fled on him. Remember that? I guess you got that tip from Bobby Brown in 2009. The judge ordered Brown to be arrested next time he was in the state of Massachusetts. He was already like $45,000 behind for 2 teenage kids he had with a former girlfriend. And they caught him. And then boom. Let's see, a quick birthday here. Donnie Wahlberg, 54, former new kid on the block, and now Detective Danny Reagan on Blue Bloods. Was Detective Eric Matthews on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Saw movies. None of which I've ever seen. Have you ever seen the Saw movie? That's a scary one, right?
I don't care for those movies.
Flounder, you're not a Saw movie?
I'm not a fan of horror movies.
Yeah, anyway, I have no idea what that is. And let's see.
Well, a horror movie is a movie where people kill themselves.
Do you remember the first horror movie that you saw that kind of just made you not like horror movies?
No, I like American Werewolf in London, stuff like that.
Classic.
That's got a story, classic things like that, the old Frankensteins and stuff. But I don't like the Saw things where it's just murder and blood. I never cared for the Halloweens or any of that stuff. Friday the 13th just didn't do anything for me.
I'm
Exorcist scares the hell out of me. Anything to do with demons and the supernatural, that's what gets me.
There was this horrible horror movie. It was called The Gate, and it had Stephen Dorff in it, and he was a kid. And it was about demons that came under his backyard in this hole. And after that, I just was never a fan
Amityville
horror movies.
That stuff, that was scary stuff.
Mine, I don't think it was Boris Karloff, but it was one of those last living cell in a dead body.
There's a scene in the movie Amityville Horror, and it's also in the book, where the little girl thinks she has a pet pig that walks around that she talks to. And he says, describe it. He goes, well, it's about 5 feet tall. And she was about 8 years old. It's about 5 feet tall. He's got little red eyes, blah, blah, blah. And they don't think anything of it. And then one day, James Brolin is putting the boat away there in the slip, and he's walking back up as the sun's setting. Yeah. And he looks up and he sees his daughter up in the window, the second story, and he waves. And then he sees behind her and above her 2 little red eyes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
No, thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Remember The Fog? The movie The Fog that came out with Adrian Barbeau?
Community was surrounded.
They handed out little. Well, we went to the store and handed out to people little sunglasses that had red lights in them that you could turn the battery on, and the lights would. So during the middle of the fog, we turned on those lights and said it scared the hell out of people.
Oh, mercy. Well, anyway, how you doing? It's only the Giver, Pete, and Flounder, 3:21 on the clock there. And Jim's got a billion. By the way, here's our phone number in case you'd like to give us a buzz, which we always enjoy. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And we have a trillion things to talk about, including, let me do one. I'll do kind of a newsy thing. Then we're going to talk about the House Judiciary Committee and lawsuits and Alan Dershowitz.
Well,
make a point. I stopped for gas last night on the way home. This is a newsy thing. I stopped for gas on the way from here. I left the ballpark and I got down to Powder Springs Road and I did the corner section of Terrell Mill, and I pulled into the Shell station there and put on the video when I saw the tank when I was filling up my car, $5.10. $5.10 at the Shell station on Terrell Mill in Powder Springs Road here. I guess that's Sandy Springs. Is that Sandy? Or I don't know if that's Marietta.
Do you look for the most expensive gas you can find?
I had like 40 miles to empty, and that car doesn't mess around. I don't want to take a chance, and so I pulled it. And plus, what the hell's the difference? Last week I paid, $4.90. So I'm going to cry about 20 cents when I got to pay that kind of money for gasoline. I can't. I mean, honestly, I swear I'm not making this up. My first car was a 1953 Chevy in 1962 when I was 16 and bought it for $250, and gasoline was 25 cents a gallon. And by God, you better not try to pump it yourself or they'd hit you in the face.
Still, $5 is it's a
ridiculous.
mental thing. There's no way in hell it should be that.
You can't tell me that's. And by the way, all that gas that's in my tank now and that's in those pumps has been around for months. They have gas tank farms.
It's Democrats. It's all because of Democrats.
That gasoline's been here for months. Mm-hmm. Or now maybe they changed because of storage stuff. Maybe it's all different now. But honestly, gas tank farms are the people who hold the gas, and then they only change the price not because the gas that's in there is now more expensive, it's because they make it more expensive. But that gas is not more expensive. It's been there.
Playing with numbers.
It's unbelievable.
$5 for gas.
$5.10.
It's just insane.
I mean,
I literally
couldn't believe it.
I paid $1.10 less than you just a few days ago.
For high test, same the top stuff for our cars need high test gas. I don't, and again, well, you don't get a car today. Yeah, screw you! I'm getting my car. That's the one thing I got in my life. So you can eat me right now about you. Oh, your big, your 9 million horsepower pod. Well, screw you. You know that's it. You know how long am I going to live? I got one freaking thing to be happy about, and that's my freaking car.
I ran 3 Priuses and a Subaru off the highway today just because I could.
Exactly. I had a guy, swear to God, I had a guy last night tried to beat me off the line to cut me off, and man, did I leave him fuming. You can't do that. I mean, what an idiot. Yeah. What was he expecting? I'm going to say, oh, sorry, sir, I didn't mean to roar my engine. God, I just hate everybody. I had a guy in my freaking neighborhood. It's the same way. You know, every time I always pull over and go way out of the way to stop and put on my silent thing as much as I can, and I always try, wave on my steering wheel, and I give a little flip of high. Nobody ever responds back. Nobody gets. They pull out and cut in front of you. They don't give a. I mean, people are so freaking rude, inconsiderate. And now the House Judiciary Committee has subpoenaed the Department of Justice. I'll just go with the Department of Justice. This is a very important story here today.
25 minutes in, you finally got around.
Well, we're going there. I haven't even talked about my run-in with Veronica and how, Flounder gets screwed all the time, and I try to do something, and then even Denise was doing stuff, and the king, and he mentioned, we got a million things here. I haven't even gotten to them, for God's sakes.
Do them.
All right. Now, we got them all, but first, House Judiciary Committee, you're going to hear from President Stupid Potato Head, by the way, coming up shortly, where he made a fool out of himself again. But first, this is just in, fairly new. House Judiciary Committee subpoenas the Department of Justice and the Federal Gestapo of Investigation for documents proving that they are a bunch of scumbag colluders with big tech companies. The House Judiciary Committee wants the DOJ and FBI to turn over documents and communications because they coerced and colluded with companies and other intermediaries to censor speech. The First Amendment prohibits government officials from imposing viewpoint-based censorship restrictions. And when they tried to get them to Congress, the Justice Department only produced one document, which was a publicly available transcript of a civil deposition of an FBI assistant special agent in charge named Elvis Chan. The case involved Missouri versus Biden, and this is an FBI assistant special agent. And through the investigation, the committee found out and uncovered evidence that contradicts several statements by Agent Chan from the FBI in his deposition, particularly as they relate to his communications with social media platforms. The production is wholly inadequate and omits voluminous responsive material between the DOJ and the tech companies and the FBI. In other words, they're censoring the information proving they're freaking guilty. The Federal Bureau of the Gestapo investigation has been caught again. They've been caught not giving over information. I'm telling you, my friends, this is the most despicable scandal. And, let's remember one thing. It's all tied together. It started when Donald Trump came down that freaking escalator, and the Democrats and the DOJ and the FBI, they showed Elisa Gummy Bear and Peter Strzok said, oh my God, we can't elect him president. The FBI agents from the beginning said, we got to get him. We got to stop him. And if he is elected, we'll stop him from being effective. It started from the beginning. The Donald Trump presidential run for the election is where it began. The Russian collusion, now to the impeachments and covering up for the Bidens at the same time. Remember, this is all happening at the same time. In 2014 and 2015, Hunter Biden was getting money from Burisma, and Joe was using his power to get money from the Chinese and Ukraine and Kazakhstan and the Russian, the mayor of Moscow's wife, $3.5 million. All this was going on while they're also attacking Donald Trump, even before his candidacy started, 2014 and 2015. And now they're doing it afterwards, again, protecting Biden now and going after Trump even more. And this has been going on for 6 years. One scandal. It's all the same. Mm-hmm. It's all the same. God, 328. Quickly to Alan Dershowitz, and I'm going to read more. I probably have to take a break here.
Yeah, you probably wait till after the break on this because we've got people already. The very first thing on YouTube.
Let's go.
They were doing the over under how many rants you're going to have today, and 5 seems to be the number.
I'm not even started.
So yeah, start on this. Grubinator says Kimber losing track by 305, a new record.
That's the YouTube gangsters. What do they call them? YouTube criminals?
YouTube mafia.
YouTube mafia. Yeah.
Bob says
Kimber mafia.
Bob says as long as Kimber didn't make the food, Pete will eat it.
You will not eat anything I touch. Anything from my house.
Let's see. Claudette says she's like 20 years older than her brother, or vice versa, or something like that.
Wow, it's interesting. I mean, think about the family dynamics. Pretty cool.
I know.
And that little sister girl's a dish. I saw her in something not long ago, and she's just as cute as she could be. Anyway, all right, 320. All right, coming up, Alan Dershowitz. Wait till you hear about this. I mean, this makes the point. It's beautiful. And the attorneys who were all indicted saying, we're just doing what we're supposed to do. America's falling apart. All right, it's almost 3:30. Look out, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Here we go.
That noise is Pete actually playing the drums.
Notice how I back-timed that perfectly as a former disc jockey. Hey, let's get around to town to sound in our clown cloud. It's wax and tracks and stacks, man.
That's one of the most annoying things is when you're listening to music on the radio and they're talking over the song because they're trying to get up to right when the lyrics start.
Yeah. And by the way, I used to once in a while, well, first of all, let me tell you that Jackson Brown,
everybody.
He had a lot of hits. Just ask Daryl Hannah.
He used to beat her up?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I had no idea. Yeah. Well, Jackson, I don't like you anymore. Although I don't like Daryl Hannah either. You know, she looks like she's a guy.
Wait, I'll tell you what.
She's a freaking guy.
What was that, Blade Runner? When she played one of the replicants?
Yeah. Well, she was in that fish movie, too, with the mermaid thing there with Tom Hanks.
What was the Tom Hanks movie? Swim.
No.
No. Not mermaid. Swim. Under the sea.
Splash. Look at me. Oh, my God.
Good night, everybody.
3:35, August 17th, 2023.
You got one.
Holy cow, I got to both of you. Oh, my God. That's almost hard to... that's a great sign. I mean, they're
firing. The synapses are still firing.
Anyway, Jackson, you can find a little bit under it here. Jackson Brown, on this day in 2008, was suing the Republican presidential candidate, John McCain, for using his song without permission, Running on Empty. He said it was an infringement of copyright and would lead people to conclude that he endorses John McCain, which he did not. He wanted more than $75,000 in damages. I have no idea what happened. I can't imagine he actually went anywhere with it. But now my favorite, I had Flounder on my Magic Stick put on, and Pete Davis one time, the best gift giver ever, once again many times years ago, sent to me, knowing one of my favorite songs ever is the Stay Loadout medley live from Jackson Brown at a concert he did, and it's one of the greatest. I mean, I have it on my music stick that Flounder put on my Magic Music Stick, but Pete Davis years ago actually found it in some live CD.
It's one of the great live albums of all time, Running on Empty.
Running on Empty, and this, his at the very end where he talks about loading up the chairs and the sounds you've never heard, and get that crate on down. It's haunting. I mean, it's beautiful, and I mean it's also a beautiful piece of music, and it's one of the greatest songs ever. And that one, and the other one is. Where the pretty girl in the corner, they all stand by to watch her. She's got to have a boyfriend. I want to be her boy. I'm going to go talk to her now. I'm going to make the girl. Oh God!
You went down quick.
Somebody's baby. I got it. Somebody's baby.
Gwendolyn says, when a bell rings, it means Kimber found a brain cell.
Are you sure that's not Sophia? Tough. And the Grubinator, I think, was back here too a little second ago. Anyway,
Dershowitz.
Okay, well, I'll just put this over to the side here and get to it later. Anyway,
you can finish it if you want.
No. This is really important. Honestly, this is some serious stuff. I'm going to read a bunch of this for you. Alan Dershowitz, and here's what he says. Let's keep in mind what just happened here in Fulton County. Al Gore, his legal team, and I, Alan Dershowitz, tried to find uncounted presidential votes, lobbied officials, and fought in the courts in 2020. I'm sorry, let me start that again. Al Gore's legal team and I tried to find uncounted presidential votes, lobbied officials, and fought in the courts in the year 2000. The only difference now, the candidate's name is Donald Trump. That's why this prosecution is an outrage. Electoral challenges have long been part of American history, only now they are being criminalized. I was one of the lawyers involved in objections to Florida's presidential vote in 2000. A margin of less than 600 ballots determined that Governor George Bush, rather than Vice President Al Gore, won the state, thus the Electoral College vote. I was convinced then, and I am convinced now, that this result was wrong. No one was indicted, disbarred, disciplined, or even much criticized for those efforts, yet here we stand today. President Donald Trump and 18 other defendants have been charged with election fraud, conspiracy, racketeering, and more under a law designed to take down criminal organizations known as the RICO Act. Should Al Gore have been charged in 2000? What about me? I represented the voters of Palm Beach County, many of whom voted by mistake for Pat Buchanan rather than Gore because of the infamous butterfly ballots and hanging chads that prevented their votes from being accurately counted. During the course of our challenges, many tactics similar to those employed in 2020 were attempted. lawyers wrote legal memoranda outlining possible courses of conduct, including proposing a slate of alternate electors who would deliver our preferred election results to Congress. Now, Trump and his attorney, Rudy Giuliani, along with others, are accused of conspiracy to commit forgery and false statements for drafting their list of alternative electors. In 2000, Florida state officials were lobbied to secure recounts in selected counties in which we thought the tally would favor us. We were trying to find at least 600 votes that would change the result. This new indictment features Trump's phone call with Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, which was captured in an audio recording. In the conversation, Trump says, asked Raffensperger to find 12,000 votes. In my mind, this call is among the most exculpatory pieces of evidence. Trump was entitled as a candidate to ask a Georgia state official to locate votes that he believes were not counted. In 2000, attempts were made to influence various Georgia, Florida officials to recount the votes, and now the former president's request that Georgia's Republican Speaker of the House reconsider the count is now being charged as soliciting a public official to violate his oath. And now, Trump and his attorney, Rudy Giuliani, along with others, are accused of conspiracy to commit forgery and false statements for drafting their list of alternate electors. The fundamental truth of this indictment is that if the evidence of specific crimes were compelling, there would be no need to charge under the onerous intent requirements of RICO and conspiracy laws. The proof is not compelling because these electoral challenges have precedent. Once again, as with the preceding 3 Trump indictments, the law is being stretched to its limits in order to snare a former president. Quote, show me the man, I'll show you the crime. The infamous Soviet-era boast attributed to Joseph Stalin's chief of the secret police. Is this really what our country has become? When prosecutions are rooted in the fickle ground of politics and not the solid rock of justice, everything will crumble.
Yeah. It's rule of man, not rule of law anymore.
Alan Dershowitz, a famous liberal who's been doxxed. He's been banned. I mean, what do you call it? Cootie,
canceled.
Where they canceled by everybody who's been a friend of his for 70 years. One of the greatest legal minds ever. One of the most, reasonable legal scholars. And now all his friends are they've kicked him out of all his clubs.
Well, he
can't give speeches anywhere.
He's a true liberal, and the rest of them have run so far to the left, they're communists.
In fact, that's exactly the point. This is what the Liberal Party, when I was a kid, used to be.
Yep. Exactly.
This was exactly the Liberal Party. And it was the conservatives who were kind of pain in the neck, kind of hard-ass guys who, cut your hair there, son, and I don't want to take any crap off of you. I mean, that's all, it's all kind of changed now.
Don't speak ill of Nixon. He's the president.
Love it or leave it kind of deal. That's way, that's not even in the ball. They don't even learn that in school anymore. But listen, have you heard those words? And again, I don't know where you can. I guess you could Google, try Alan Dershowitz's comments on this. But does he have a website? I mean, I don't know where we. Flounder, did Mike get this? I
think it was on the Daily Mail, maybe, or one of those.
Anyway, this is. I mean, and I'll probably do it again after 5 o'clock. Not that you, if you listen now, you won't be listening. Whatever. Anyway, it's just amazing. But again, we have comments from a bunch of the attorneys who were involved in this case and who were indicted, including John Eastman. He says lawyers everywhere should be sleepless over this latest stunt to criminalize their advocacy. This is a legal cluster bomb that leaves unexploded ordinances for lawyers to navigate with statements condemning the indictment. Another attorney, each of the alleged, quote, overt acts that are attributed to so-and-so relate to his work as an attorney. He never set foot in Georgia. He stands ready to defend himself against these unfounded charges. Again, they're going after attorneys who were contacted saying, can you help us out in this legal effort? So now they've been indicted as part of the conspiracy. This is outrageous. Rudy Giuliani lobbied Georgia lawmakers to overturn the election, spread false voting fraud allegations with the charges. He called the indictments an affront to American democracy. There's permanent, irrevocable harm to our justice system. Jenna Ellis criminalizing the practice of law. John Malcolm called the indictment a terrible thing for the legal profession. These lawyers were gathering evidence. They were following up leads. They were making representations that they had a good faith belief in what they were saying based on the information they had at the time. Holy crap.
They're criminalizing ever speaking out against the regime.
And again, each one of these acts on its own is not illegal.
Nope.
You can call your lawyer and say, hey, I got a problem. Can you freaking help me? Oh, conspiracy. In fact, here they come now for the Kimmer. I mean, this is, your country's gone to hell. What is this?
Fulton County is what it is.
Oh, boycott. Boy, Pete had a great idea.
Okay.
Everybody move. Well,
if you're outside of Fulton County.
Yeah, burn down your own house. That would be wrong.
Don't go to concerts there anymore. Don't go to movies there. Don't go shopping there anymore.
Yeah.
Close it down.
Take away your recreation money.
Take the money away from them like you
right.
did at Target, like you did for Bud Light, you're doing to Skittles right now.
Screw Fulton County.
Take their money.
They hate you. And if they do a mugshot of Donald Trump, we're all going to buy the T-shirt. We'll have the Kimmer Show T-shirts of it. And then I try to impeach the sheriff because he'd be doing it for political purposes to try to make fun of a former president.
We will be on the phone with farmhouseprintingco.com immediately.
So fast. 3:45, 3:45. Hold on. We got everything. Look on, Steve. There. If you can watch us on YouTube, he's playing the piano here on the desk for some reason. That's a strange situation. This is Led Zeppelin on this day. Edie Beanie Baby. Gonna go rock on. I have no idea. We'd have got a Bob on. That's.
It's a boogie woogie song.
What about a doo-da booty? What the hell is that? Nobody knows any of these words. Okay. This is unbelievable. Probably one of the greatest known bands in the history of the world, Led Zeppelin. Whether you like them or not, and I couldn't name you one of their songs, but I know they're enormously huge and successful. Nobody knows a single freaking word.
This is called
not one.
Boogie with Stu. It's the great pianist from the Rolling Stones, Ian Stewart, that joined Led Zeppelin for this song and a few others. And it's boogie woogie, so you're not supposed to understand the lyrics.
So let me get this straight. So what do you guys have to go to school to learn about these people, to learn the story so you can say, I don't understand the words, but I know the guy playing the piano? This is unbelievable.
You want the lyrics, sorry?
Yeah, I want that. It was Led Zeppelin, top the chart. Got British pornography. I think it must be phonographic. Bootleg titles, Led Zeppelin performances, archives 10,000 recordings, Beatles second entry.
All right, I'll give you the lyrics here. Been in town, my baby. We just got to rock on. Yeah, darling. We just got to go home. I don't want no tutti frutti, no lollipop. Come on, baby, just rock.
All right, who sings this again?
That's Led Zeppelin.
Let's keep it that way.
I wasn't singing. I was reciting.
You call that singing?
No, I don't.
Either do I.
You can bite me.
Either does anybody
bite
else.
My ass.
No, wait a minute.
Right here.
Put that away. We're alive.
That's a great song. I love that song.
Oh, that's a piece of crap. You have no idea what they're saying.
I don't care what they're saying.
It's screaming. Oh, my God.
You know what Mick Jagger said when they complained about his lyrics?
Yes, I do.
He learned from Muddy Waters. He said, Muddy Waters says, always keep them guessing as to what you're saying.
Yeah, there you are.
Michael Stipe of R.E.M. did the same thing.
In fact, I could come in here tomorrow. In fact, I might, with a whole list of all the lyrics that people have misunderstood for years.
Oh, that's a great thing to do.
Let's
Rocket
do it.
Man, all that stuff.
Let's make a list.
Let's do it. Excuse me while I kiss this fly.
Make a note. You'll forget, and I'll forget. So write it down. I wrote it down here.
Elton John is the most famous.
There's a book.
Yeah, there's a whole book on it.
Well, you're going to hear them all then if we can get it by tomorrow. Let's see. Sean Penn is 63 today.
Damn.
Yeah.
Speaking of communists.
and by the way...
good actor, but he's a he's an idiot.
Yeah, he's really bizarre.
He's just an idiot.
And one historical note, if I might, was on this day...
Yes, sir.
Here we go. On this day in 1987, Rudolf Hess, the last member of Hitler's inner circle, died at the age of 83 in a Berlin hospital after apparently committing suicide, strangling himself with an electric cord 43 years after Germany lost World War II. And Rudolf Hess was the only prisoner in Spandau prison for the last 20 years, and the only prisoner for the last 20, but he was in there for 41 years total. And all by himself, the only guy in the entire prison for 20 years till he killed himself.
Albert Speer and I guess a couple others left. Yeah. By the way, the Albert Speer's diaries of when he was in Spandau Ballet, he wrote them on toilet paper and snuck them out.
Really?
That's a fascinating book to read.
What
Speer was writing.
Did he talk about what he did and feel about it?
In fact, they made a movie with Rutger Hauer, Inside the Third Reich.
Really?
It was a TV movie, a miniseries, and it was fantastic. If you ever get a chance to see it, it's fantastic.
Do they admit to their thing?
He admits that he was taken in with the cult of personality. He was taken in by, he was a young architect, and all of a sudden he was the architect, and he got swept up in it. But at the end of the war, he realized, oh God, we're going to lose. This sucks. We've done all this horrible stuff. Yeah. And he tried, and Hitler was saying, crush everything, burn all the buildings, burn all the bridges, everything. Yeah. And Speer was putting out the orders to the Wehrmacht, don't do it. And trying to save as much stuff as he could. But we never knew the secret of Rudolf Hess, who flew into Scotland in like 1943.
Oh, I've heard about this.
And parachuted into Scotland. Yeah. And it was all hush-hush as to why he didn't. Of course, they all said he was crazy and stuff like that. But supposedly he was on a peace mission.
They thought that he was on some kind of a suicide assassination attempt or something, but that was one of the things I remember.
We never found out the real truth of that one.
So who knows?
And why did they keep him locked up by himself all that time when they let Albert? They let all the other ones out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. 3:54. Okay, we got a bunch of things going. You're going to hear President Pants on Fire in a few minutes. Once again, showing what an idiot is. We're going to prove it right in front of his stinking, dirty, slousy face. Also, we didn't do the flirting thing. Let's do the Maui. Okay, first of all, there's the big things going on now in Maui. And by the way, I mean, it's even worse than I haven't. It's not that I have not been paying attention. We really haven't talked that much about it. But it's even, I mean, it's every time I see a new video, I think, oh my God, it's all just white ash. It's not even timber rumble and charred remains. It's just ash. I mean, it's and by the way, there's a bunch of you may have heard Neil Bortz's commentary today. In fact, I think it's coming up a little later, where he was saying among the conspiracy theories is that they deliberately were trying to burn the land so they could sell it for the big shots like Oprah Winfrey and stuff. But one of the problems was that the people were complaining that in Maui there never was a blaring siren to warn them of an emergency. And the world's largest outdoor siren warning system is in Hawaii. The website includes wildfires on the list of disasters for which all hazard siren systems can be used. But during this emergency, there was no siren system. Well, a guy named Herman Andaya is the emergency management agency guy, and he was asked about this. Why didn't anybody play the siren? Flounder?
Do you regret not sounding the sirens?
I do not. And the reason why, and
so many people said they could have been saved if they had time to escape. Had a siren gone off, they would have known that there was a crisis emerging. And as we know, so many bodies were found in the ground as the flames caught their heels.
Give me the answer.
I do, but I wanna get it out.
Let him answer.
I'm sorry. There's a lot of people
you're talking,
who want answers.
letting him talk. If you want to talk, come up here.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the answer.
Then wait.
The sirens, as I mentioned earlier, is used primarily for tsunamis, and that's the reason why many of them are found, almost all of them are found on the coastline. The public is trained to seek higher ground in the event that the siren is sounded. In fact, on the website of the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency, the following guideline is provided. If you are in a low-lying area near the coastline, evacuate to high grounds, inland or vertically to the fourth floor and higher of a concrete building. Alerts may also come in the form of a wireless emergency alert. Had we sounded the siren that night, we're afraid that people would have gone Mauka. And if that was the case, then they would have gone into the fire. Mm-hmm. And so that is the reason why our protocol has been to use WEA and EAS. By the way, I should also note that there are no sirens Mauka or on the mountainside where the fire was spreading down. So even if we sounded the siren, it would not have saved those people on the mountainside.
You know, when I first heard they didn't even blare the sirens, weird. They didn't. We're going to talk about the water issue again. But then clearly, if the siren means tsunami, get to higher ground, they'd be walking into the fire.
And that reporter is a perfect example of what we got going on. It was all about him. Yeah. It was about getting his face on national TV, and he didn't give a damn what the answer was going to be. He's just going to keep talking.
He wanted to hold that man's feet to the fire, and he was, by God, I'm going to be responsible for getting the answers to this sketch. Yeah, you know, it's absolutely.
The story is the most important thing, not the reporter, and it's totally opposite now.
Not anymore. It's all gone. It's totally, absolutely.
Me.
Yep. By the way, the governor is now pledging, doubling down on his vow to protect residents from predatory land grabs, urging outsiders not to make offers for burned out homes. Saying the Attorney General is working up a moratorium on land transactions in the first place and urging developers to keep away. Don't approach homeowners or their families offering to buy. It'll be a significant amount of time before they can do anything anyway, construction-wise. The governor says, my intention from start to finish was to make sure no one's victimized from a land grab. There are legal challenges there, going to push right through those, make sure people don't lose their land. Hell, Oprah just bought 2,000 acres. Why? Yes, and a lot of people are saying, you know, this. Now, on the other hand, if someone, well, I don't know. I mean, what would you do if you lost everything I don't know about insurance, and I wouldn't cover the cost of the land and cover rebuilding your house if you want to stay there, I guess.
Why wouldn't it? That's why you have insurance.
Yeah, I assume they had. I don't. But
a lot of that
all have to have insurance.
But a lot of that type of property is the insurance. Some of it's not insured, so you're taking the risk.
Yeah, I
don't know that for certain, but
I assume every homeowner has to have homeowners insurance.
If you're living in Maui now, you want to be there. Yeah. Why would you want to
Absolutely. So, but again, I mean, it's an issue they're thinking about, and Oprah just bought a whole bunch, so now she's part of the conspiracy. Did I mention that I was Oprah's first newsman on TV
a couple
when she came to? Oh,
At least twice.
Well, I'm trying to find a way to make this about the Kimmer.
You've been to Hawaii? You can do that.
I've been to Hawaii.
We've all
too.
been to Hawaii.
I haven't been to Hawaii.
You haven't been to Hawaii?
Oh my God! Well, Veronica's
What's wrong
waiting
with you?
4 o'clock. Speaking of Veronica and Tom Hughes coming up
And
the king.
food.
And food next with the Kimmer Pete and Flounder. 4 o'clock. Look out. Did I say anything bad? I know I said something bad. We both said something really bad. Sorry. You had to be there. I mean, I like this song. I've always liked this song. Play a little bit. Here you go. Shut. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I got my ass.
Yeah, you love this one.
Oh, Saturday night. Oh, Saturday night.
I always think of So I Married an Axe Murderer when I hear this.
The Bay City Rollers. Let's play this thing. Here you go. That Saturday night. Saturday night. Da, 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 da. Yeah, 1999. Former Bay City Rollers drummer Derek Longmuir appeared at the Edinburgh Sheriff's Court accused of child porn and drug offenses. Longmore was 48 years old at the time in 1999, denied it all. He was later sentenced to 300 hours of community service. Child porn, that's appropriate. Let's see, historical note. In 2011, you guys ever watch the TV show New Jersey Shore?
No.
Is that the one with the little girl whose mommy ruined her? Snooki. Is that Snooki? That's a famous one. I've never seen it, but I know of it. We've all heard of it. Well, I've never seen it. We've never seen it. But the big shots at Abercrombie and Fitch saw it, and they didn't like what they saw in the MTV series New Jersey Shore. They offered to pay the entire cast not to wear their clothes. Please, God.
Please stop.
We will pay you to wear anybody, anything. Donna Karen, it doesn't matter. They said the cast didn't reflect the values of the company, and they were afraid that people would look at him and say, man, you guys, I'm not buying your crap because of the women on New Jersey Shore, which is kind of bizarre. And a quick birthday of note, Belinda Carlisle is 65 today, lead singer of the Go-Go's. She hit #1 with Heaven is a Place on Earth. As a solo artist, the Go-Go's never attained, let me see now. The best the Go-Go's ever attained was #2 with We Got the Beat. What was the one that I liked? What's the other song?
Oh,
We Got the Beat.
2 and 3 really
Go-Go's.
Head Over Heels was a good song.
Yeah. And
they had 2 or 3 really good songs.
There was one other that I really liked, and I can't remember what the hell it was. Anyway.
I remember the Turtles on Buford Highway. It was over there one night.
And tried to find a record store.
And they were playing this. This is back in the 80s when they first came out. And they were playing it. I was like, who's this? That's a girl band.
What the hell is the Go-Go song that I use?
Head Over Heels.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
It's got to be
okay, now a quick let's do the food thing. All right, now, and again, we got actual new stuff is up, but this is important. Pete Davis, known for his culinary expertise, as some kind of a food surprise. I have no idea what you're talking about here.
And we talked about this a couple weeks ago.
A bag of something.
And I'm going to hold it up. Look away. I'm going to hold it up and show everybody on TV here, on YouTube or whatever what it is.
All right.
And some of them can figure it out. And now, you see it, Flounder? See what this is? See what I'm holding in my hand? Do you know what this is?
Looks like an artery.
All right, look back. It looks like a heart, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, Cameron, now look at it.
Oh, gross.
Look at that thing.
Oh, my God, you put your hand on it.
This is a dragon fruit.
Oh, my God.
This is a dragon fruit.
A Game of Thrones. Oh, my God.
I've walked by for 50 years and never bought and never eaten until now.
I don't even know. I've never seen one in person. I think I've heard the
Publix
name.
has them.
But I think you mentioned that you've seen them for a long time. I can't imagine.
It just cuts real easy here. It may be overripe a little bit.
Now, is the skin like soft like a pear or like an apple?
Yeah, like a pear.
Okay.
All right.
And now,
it's all over me.
Is it juicy?
Yeah, it is.
I can't quite see what you're.
It's juicy. Look at this.
Oh, it looks like it's all dark red on seedy.
God,
that looks disgusting.
It's dark and red.
It looks like a beet. It looks like a giant beet inside.
Well, take a bite.
Can you hold up the camera? You need to show. Mikey will eat it. Let's give it to Mikey. Mikey will eat anything.
Wait till the morning crew sees this.
Let Mikey eat it. I'm not eating it. Let Mikey eat it.
Here's your thing.
Oh, God. Well, let's show it up hold it up where they can see it. It looks like a giant beet on the inside.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful fruit.
And it's a fruit.
Yeah,
okay, well, I'll take a little piece here. How do you? All right.
There you go.
Oh,
thanks.
sorry.
It's flicking it all over me.
Well, it flicks. I flicked it out. All right, I'm going to try this.
All right. What do you think?
It's sort of medium sweet. It's not real sweet, and it's kind of grainy. It's sort of a grainy.
It may be overripe.
Remind me of.
Maybe just a little overripe. It's kind of like not a mango.
It tastes like a fruit.
Papaya.
It's a little grainy and it's semi-sweet. It's not sugary, but it's not. Let me take a little thing.
It's like a pear. It tastes a little like a pear. The texture's like a pear.
Actually, the texture's like a pear, especially if you eat the skin of a pear. When I get a pear, I wash it.
Oh, I love it. Yeah,
but I eat it. I don't peel it. I eat it as it is. And this kind of reminds me of eating a pear.
But
that's my favorite fruit.
It's
I think
just bizarre looking.
Yeah, it's a damnedest thing. It looks like a monster's. What are those like knuckles on the outside? It looks like a monster's zygote or something from.
No, but a flounder's afraid to come in here and eat.
No, it's
something.
good. You should try it.
He don't want any. Come on, it's a fruit.
Leave me alone.
I got 2 Reese's over here. Reese's Pieces.
I brought many Reese's Pieces. And by the way, speaking of that, let's hold on to Maui thing. Anyway, so now there's your dragon fruit. Yeah. I bet they'd like maybe I don't know who's here. Anybody is Amanda out there? Or
yeah, Amanda's out there, but I don't think she would want this.
I'll bet she'd like to try it.
Real quick, Veronica wants to know that the dragon fruit is not yellow, is it?
Oh no, it's dark red. It looks like
red.
A beet.
Yeah.
The outside of it is dark red with these yellow knuckles. It looks like somebody had like fist knuckles on the outside of it, or some kind of warts or something. A giant.
It's the weirdest looking fruit I've ever seen.
Looks like a herpes fruit.
It looks honestly, it looks like a hairy, undeveloped zygote or so. I mean, I honestly, it's just the damnedest looking thing I ever saw. And speaking of Miss Veronica,
what'd you do?
Just for the record. Yesterday, Flounder during the show had mentioned, before the show, Flounder had mentioned that he was going to go to the ball game with Veronica.
Yeah.
And he said, in fact, she's probably going to be here in the afternoon. I said, oh, God, well, let's get her on the air. We'll have her in the show and talk for a second and just, say hi and stuff like that. And it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah. Well, it went on and on, and the traffic was so bad that she, didn't make it, obviously. So as I was leaving, Flounder said, Veronica's, got stuck in traffic's too bad, but, if you run into her or whatever. So I said, okay. So I'm walking outside, and I get out of the elevator in our building and get down to the bottom floor, and I start walking forward, and in walks Veronica.
Yeah.
And, of course, she flew into my arms with a gigantic, luscious... No, I'm sorry.
You flew into her arms,
I flew into her, and no, I grabbed her before she could get away. No. So I gave her a big hug, and she gave me a big hug, and I thought to me, and she was... And I honestly, God, I'm not making this up. Every time I see her, and I've only seen her a few times, obviously, but she's so pretty. She has the greatest smile on her face. I mean, it's just... You can't help... I mean, she just explodes with happiness and joy.
What's your point?
Well, the point was I can't believe it because, I knew Flounder was waiting to see her, and she looked like she was so sweet and gave me a big hug and stuff like that. And then I thought to myself, boy, she's really anxious to get up to see Flounder, her special man, and so. But I thought to myself, like 10 seconds later, I can't believe I didn't stop and take a selfie with her with a little selfie video. I mean, I can't believe it because people, introduce her to our people and stuff, and I can't believe I didn't get a chance.
That's not creepy at all.
Well, not with me. I mean, it's not like I'm, competing with Flounder, for God's sake. But it would have been to introduce her, and she's so pretty. I mean, she has the sweetest smile, and you just can't help, when you see her, you smile. I mean, you're happy to be around her. I mean, she's really just a sweet girl. And I can't believe I'm kicking myself for I didn't get a selfie video with her. Next time
You'll see her again.
I'll do it again. And by the way, how are we doing? It's 4:12. Okay, well, we'll play the Maui guy here in a second. And we got a couple of comedy bits. Have you had any comedy bits?
And we got the Pete Sweets thing coming up, which is...
we got to let's do that next. A quick thing, though. There was on my Facebook page, and I'm sure on yours also, Tom Hughes popped up yesterday. We talked about it on the radio. We talked about Tom Hughes and his lovely bride, Kathy, had been married for 48 years. That was yesterday. Today, guess whose birthday it is? Tom Hughes.
Really?
And everybody's saying, oh, Tom Hughes, he's 75 years old. And so on Facebook, all these say, oh, Tom Hughes. And they'll say, oh, I love Tom Hughes. Well, yesterday was Tom Hughes and Kathy. Today is Tom Hughes. So I wrote down, my God, man, how many days in a row do you need for people to praise you? And he says, I know, I should space it out more. He replied to me. Anyway, happy birthday, Tom. the king, the greatest morning man ever. No offense. 4:13. We'll be back, and we're going to do is flirting even flirting anymore, or just a complete offense? Standing by next at 4:13. Look out. Yeah, Cavuto on Fox.
The smug
Both of
look
whom
on
can kiss my
Bob
foot.
Barr's face when he
Yeah, I know.
knew about all the corruption and
Yeah.
didn't do a damn thing
Yeah.
about it, helped hide it. Now he's sitting there on Fox with Neil Cavuto acting like he's
Yeah.
the big poobah.
Yeah, turning on Trump and saying he won't be the nominee and stuff. And by the way, just before I forget, now they're complaining about people are taking seriously Marjorie Taylor Greene for vice president on the ticket.
If he wants to, no.
In fact, I heard and by the way, Flounder, I promise I will be talking about the Temptations here in a second. But since we're talking about the TV thing first, also even our noonday guys here on the radio station were talking about how Brian Kemp had been mentioned as a possible vice president. And
There was no way.
Well, we knew locally that was never going to happen.
No.
Nobody in Georgia ever thought. But he blew it, and they made the point that Governor Kemp blew it yesterday when he came out and attacked Donald Trump again instead of reacting to the fact that the people are trying to come after the former president for political reasons, which is against everybody's common sense of decency as well as the Constitution. And instead he blasted Trump again instead of taking the side of people who are saying people are doing the wrong thing these days.
He made a political business decision that he doesn't want to piss off all the people who hate Trump.
Yeah, so he's out. He's out for any future political consideration nationally, and probably, and if he's running for Senate,
Who's going to run against?
This is going to hurt him.
Who's going to run against
I don't know.
Ossoff?
Yeah.
If Kemp runs, we'll hold our nose and vote for him.
Yeah. But we'll see.
By the way, I can't take any political advice from a man who can eat 3 baked potatoes at the same time. This Bob Barr guy, you just
They're
want to
still in
take
his
a back
cheeks.
to. Yeah, he's like a chipmunk. He's hoarding them.
All right, Flounder, we'll play a little Temptations here. Sorry.
Look at that smug bastard.
Take it easy. Take it easy. My God, man. Have some of that Relaxium. By the way, what a great name for a drug. That's when it's all over Fox TV. And now, I've tried it. It helps me sleep. Relaxium. How about comatosium?
You know what they call Aldous Huxley called it Soma in Brave New World.
Yeah. Somniferabrium.
I'm sure it's a fine product.
Yeah, never wake up-ium. It's kind of a... Anyway, this is the Temptations. And in 1973, the former...
the song just ended.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry. Former Temptation singer Paul Williams was found dead in his car. Well, he couldn't sing now even in this day. In 1973, he shot... Oh, God. He owed $80,000 in taxes, and he had a celebrity boutique business that had failed, and so he called it on a thing with a thing there in 1973, Temptations.
80,000 was a lot back in 73.
Yeah.
Now you can just...
It's still a lot. No, I would go ahead. Now, if I get to 80,
yourself
it's
over
over.
80.
I'm closing in. My credit card is closing in on 80 in debt, but if I get there, it's over. I promise you. Well, he said it was 80, and he got to 80, Your Honor. Sorry, officer. Yeah, they said he hadn't showed up for work in 3 days. Birthday list. I don't know why I'm getting so morbid. My God. Do you want to tell him what I told you earlier? No, I don't think we should. Brighton McClure is 37 today. Brighton McClure played Richie on Family Matters. And Flounder's history guy says he used to look exactly like a mini Rick James. These days, Brighton McClure, who was Richie, is now Devon on Young and the Restless. And the Family Matters was a show that had Urkel. I never saw it, but Urkel was famous. And
had Reginald Vell Johnson, who was the cop in Die Hard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was on that show or had a birthday or what? I don't know why you mentioned
Reginald was the father of the Urkels. He wasn't Urkel's father, but he was a neighbor.
Well, I did. Thank you. I did not know that.
I don't know.
Let's see. Oh! Whoa!
What the hell was that?
Wow. Whoa.
That was Die Hard. Remember when he when the thing fell onto the cop car, which is the dad you're talking about?
That's then.
Woo, that was fun there for a second. Oh, man.
I'm scared.
That was real good there. Yeah.
Time for Pete's Tweets?
Pete's Tweets. Well, sorry, Flounder, we didn't warn you, but and this is even more than a Pete's Tweets. This is a whole generational cultural question mark coming up here in a second.
Coming up just a second.
Well, we got we got tweets. We got things that people are saying and tweeting. We also have an issue and a very important topic, especially if you're trying to find a lady to love.
All right, Stephen Miller tweets, Republican DA could indict both Biden and Mayorkas for human trafficking. Why not? Because Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene responded, do it.
Yeah. And by the way, once again, it is illegal. It's a federal law. You're violating a federal law if you help anybody try to sneak into this country illegally. If you help anybody come into this country illegally, you're breaking a federal law, which is what every Democrat is doing.
Fight fire with fire. Look what the Democrats are doing and getting away. Why aren't we doing that?
Indict them,
Tie them up, too.
Yeah, I know.
If Trump can't campaign because he's in court, tie Biden up.
Yeah, they won't do it. They're afraid.
All right. Biden yelled during a speech, name me one single objective we've ever set out to accomplish that we failed on. Name me one. To which reporter Simon Atiba responded, secure the border, unite the country, restore trust and rule of law, avoid inflation, reduce crime in cities, improve schools, avoid new foreign wars. Shall we keep going? Yeah, same thing you had. Greg Price tweets, the North Carolina House of Representatives had to vote to override the governor's veto of the bill to ban men from playing women's sports. Governor Roy Cooper also did not want to stop the mutilation of children for the trans cult.
And there's another story coming up shortly concerning a whole other state and the exact same issue. And now there's a lawsuit involving it, too, coming up.
Country star John Rich, great follow on Twitter, by the way. Yeah. All the major record labels in Nashville are falling over themselves to lure Oliver Anthony. The irony is, if he would have been signed to a label when he wrote this song, none of us would have ever heard it. His song fried their brains. Now their greed is overriding their wokeness, but they would have buried that song.
So we're talking about the name of the thing is the name of the song.
The Richmond, north of Richmond.
Yeah. That's one, that country guy.
Oliver Anthony.
If he had signed to a label before that song came out, we'd never heard that. They wouldn't have promoted it. The radio stations wouldn't have played it. We'd have never heard of it because the labels would have buried it. They said, oh, yeah, that's not going to sell. You need to do something more mainstream. And let's put the auto-tune on it. By the way, there's another guy out there. This guy, he's a white guy with a Confederate flag tattoo on his arm. He's trying to weigh in on this, basically latch on like a remora to a shark's belly. And he's doing a hip-hop rap version of the song. So he plays the song, and then he'll stop and he'll do his rap. Instead of doing an original song himself, he's trying to steal this guy's glory.
Rap version of the
Well, it's kind of a hip-hop, I'm going to do my little rap version in the middle of the song.
Well, hey.
So he's piggybacking. I'd sue the hell out of that guy.
You'd probably make $500,000 in 2 weeks and call it a day and then be happy.
There's another one going around where it's the video and then it's people doing different podcasts reacting to it.
Really?
And everyone from Asian, black, white, Mexican are just in tears reacting to it in a very positive way.
The people in Washington, D.C., the Republicans and Democrats have been feeding off the public trough for half a century now, like Joe Biden, who never did a thing. He entered when he was 29 years old, never did a damn thing to help anybody get a job or beat a payroll
Except
or anything.
the credit card companies in Delaware. He was the king of the credit card companies, and that's where he lived, and that's where they went.
And
to.
they all have gotten rich on $200,000 a year. Yeah. And they're all doing insider trading. They're all doing this, and they're all in cahoots with Wall Street, which screwed you over. Yeah. I'm telling you. And they're wondering why millions of people are upset to the point. Yeah. And then they say, we're going to take your guns now? Uh-huh. Please.
Yeah, bullets first.
Yeah.
I got several here. Come on, here you go. Right over here.
All right, calm down.
Sorry.
Take some Relaxium.
Comatosium.
Relaxium.
You never wake up.
They're not one of our sponsors, are they? Okay. I was going to nut up on Subaru and Kia today, but I decided I probably shouldn't do that. Anyway, New York City Mayor Eric Adams tweeted about the benefits of outdoor dining. You're looking to date. You may drive by. You may see eye candy. I hate that phrase. Eye candy sitting down somewhere. You may want to park and check it out and come and slip them your number. That's what the New York City mayor said. Okay. Yeah. So Ashley Hopeful tweeted back, fact. Women do not want to be eye candy and have weird creeps slip them their number while grabbing food with friends. Mm-hmm. Justin called it, drive-by harassment.
All right.
Justin's not a man. Then conservative chick Kat Rosenfield weighed in, tweeting, when I lived in New York City, a man once dropped a handwritten note that read, "You're beautiful," with his number on my bread plate while I was having lunch. I called him. It helped that he was obscenely handsome. Now, if it was you and me had done that, you'd have called the cops.
Different story.
All right. And then Kat said, for those of you asking about what happened next, we had a fun summer fling for about a month, and then he moved to Australia.
Well, there you are.
So the accent probably didn't hurt either.
Well, also the fact that he was great looking and so,
beautiful.
I mean, so yeah,
He was handsome.
Yeah.
Seriously, if an ugly woman comes and puts something on you're gonna go, what the hell was that? But if a beautiful woman like Lena Klum comes by and does that, you're gonna go, wow.
Heidi Klum's daughter we talked about earlier. It's a knockout. Yeah.
So when does it go from flirting to harassment? Would you ever? I would never drop a note on a woman's table. Come on.
I've done stuff like that.
Well, that shows why you're single.
I've told you the story before where we were in Houston's one time with a couple of guys.
Oh, that's right.
And I said,
okay, that's different though. You wouldn't talk to them.
Yeah, I went right over there.
That's different than just walking by and slipping a note. You're beautiful with a number on it. That's creepy.
Yeah, that's. Well, let's see. I've never done. I almost. Here's the issue. At 4:28, maybe during we got a break coming up here shortly. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. We'll just ask the Kimber Babes listening right now. What would your reaction be if you were sitting someplace, maybe with a couple of girlfriends or something, or by yourself, whatever, and a guy, kind of woman smiled and said, "Hi, how you doing?" and then kind of left you a note and walked away.
Well, Rosenfeld said, if he was not so good looking, I still would have probably called anyway. That's bullcrap.
Well, I mean, obviously if he's creepy, I mean, if it looks like it's a legit on the guy's flirting with you. I mean, if it's clearly that he's dropping you a note because he wants to meet you and it's a way of flirting. I mean, is that automatically offensive? Would you never trust a guy to do that? And yet, would you still go on your phone and go swipe, 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 swipe and call somebody that you see his freaking picture?
Right.
At least in person, the guy's there dropping a note on your table.
It's the old Jack Kennedy line. You ask 20 women.
One of them's gonna
say yes.
Sure, why not? Maybe she got ticked off at her boyfriend, whatever.
Yeah, one's going to say yes.
I told you the time I threw a beer can at the girl next to me at the drive-in movie theater. I was by myself, and she was by herself in her car next to me at the drive-in movie theater, 10 o'clock at night. And I took an empty beer can, and I threw it against her car door, and she looked
romantic.
over, and I said, "Hi, would you like a beer?" I said, "I've got a couple extra here." And she said, "Sure." And I went over, and I sat in her passenger seat when we had beers and made out for about a half an hour. Not, just a little, but it was the damnedest thing I ever saw. And I was a lot better looking at the time, but still, it was just a remote. And I almost flirted with a girl 2 days ago at the Publix parking lot. Hey, baby, have a good one. I love to call her baby.
Don't
That's
talk
our friend
to me.
Amanda.
I thought you were talking.
Now, from now on, I'm calling her
and
hey, baby.
And the gay couple return.
4:30. We'll be right back. How about a little kiss? And by the way, I mean, have you ever been hit by a goat?
Hell no.
Man, I have. I'll tell you what. I had to save a couple of the little girls down at the stable one time down in Florida because there was a goat, and they're nasty, man.
Yeah, they catch from behind.
Brother. Anyway, 434, Kevin, Pete, and Flounder on 106.3. How y'all doing? This is the Doors. Riding through the desert with sorry. They could have given that horse a name. I said, we can't sing more than one note.
You know, that was America that sang that song.
Well, Doors, America, same thing. 1988. I'm sorry. 1968. What the hell's the difference? Right. I mean, come on, really. I mean, my God.
Yeah, I saw an interview yesterday.
No, what was the Doors one? Everybody knows what that song is, and I haven't said a word of it.
I saw someone ask.
And everybody knows what that song is.
Neil Young just sold his music, right? For millions.
For $4 probably.
And some smart-ass reporter.
Young, he's the one who talks like that. I hate him.
Some smart-ass reporter asked, what'd you sell your music? Because I'm 75 years old. And you know what I can do now? I don't have to tour if I don't want to. I can do whatever the hell I want to right now.
Yeah.
So that's why I sold my music.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Springsteen did the same thing.
No, so did Dylan.
Why not? I mean, what's the point?
What's it going to do to you when you're 70 years old? You've used it.
Yeah.
Now sell it.
Yeah, give it. There you go. Anyway, the Doors, in 1968, the Doors began a 4-week run at number 1 with "Waiting for the Sun." It was their third album, spawned by their second U.S. number 1 single, "Hello, I Love You." I mean,
I love
puke
you.
on your door or whatever the hell it was. Right? I mean,
come on,
fall
it was
on
a
your
great
face.
band.
It was a wonderful,
L.A.
wonderful
Woman's
band.
one of the classic rock
LA
songs
Woman.
of all.
Great song.
Crystal Ship is one of the
Crystal
most lovely.
Ship, Flying
you
in the
would
Water.
like Crystal Ship.
Oh, let's play a little Crystal Ship here.
Peace
And we'll get
Frog.
right to. We'll continue with our flirting story, and then we got the.
Hey, Flounder, did you ever put those songs we talked about from the band on his Magic Stick?
He hasn't brought it in, so
I'll bring.
I got him on right here.
Tomorrow. I keep forgetting. It's in my car, and
All right, what song am I YouTubing here?
The Crystal Ship.
The Crystal Ship.
Ship, ladies and gentlemen. That's
Clearfully
Ship.
enunciating.
SHIP.
That's right. The
Birthdays
Crystal
include the hideous Robert De Niro is 80.
Great actor, but
Great
a piece
actor. Great actor.
Raging
and
Bull.
I can't imagine. Yeah, a Casino analyzed this. Meet the Parent. Even the comedy analyzed this. He was a great comedian.
Jake LaMotta, when he saw the film, he looked at his ex-wife and says, "Was I that bad?" She goes, "No, you were worse."
Worse, yeah. That was a tough movie, by the way. It's a good movie, but and black and white too, for good reason. I mean, just a tough movie. Yeah, there's too much echo. It's not good. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Before you slip into unconsciousness, I'd like one more kiss.
Well, yeah, because he'd been drugging her, so he gets sex over while she's passing on.
And
My God, man.
Was it not the 60s?
It was the 60s. They were all doing drugs.
Well, it's not fair. Now, look at me today. How is it possible that some woman can't put something in my drink once in a while? I ask you that,
Speaking
ladies
of which,
and gentlemen.
the matter to my antimatter, Sophia, who
Yeah.
we disagree 180% on everything she's posted today.
Yeah, eat me. How about that?
On guys slipping notes to her.
Yeah, notes to a girl.
She makes a good point. She goes, "I'd rather have a drink than a note."
Well, no.
Buy me a drink.
One of my favorite things was to be simply to, if you go up to her and you say, "Hi, I don't mean to interrupt you. Excuse me. I wonder if I could buy you a drink or a car, maybe a small boat. Hi, can I buy you a condo or a drink? Either one would be fine." And if she laughs, kaboom. If she doesn't and says, "Give me a weak creep."
I have never, ever sent a drink to a woman in a bar. I've never done that. I thought about it once at the Highland Tap, and because there was 2 of them, but I didn't do it because I always thought that was just weird.
I've picked up tabs for women without them knowing who it was, and then.
But if they
found
didn't
out
know,
later.
you don't get anything.
Well,
from
no.
it.
Then the guy told him.
Well, how does
Anyway.
that get you laid?
Well, is it when they think you just wanted to be nice and be a secret? If they come over and say, "Well, are you the one?" So and then there you are.
Did they ever do that?
No.
You just wasted your money.
I wasted my money.
Yes, you did.
well, look at me now.
You're alone.
I mean, it's over.
You're alone.
Yeah, I'm alone and with no future. so this flirting thing. Well, at least Sophia said, she'd rather have a drink. But again, I mean, I'm out of the ball game for flirting with anybody. God forbid. In fact, it almost happened the other. I'm not making this up.
You can still flirt.
At Publix, well, I still do. In fact, that little girl at Publix who works there, it was so beautiful. I told her she should be a model.
She quit.
I see her and I always tip my cap and my Marine Corps cover to her and tip, and she smiles and laughs. Anyway, so out in the parking lot of Publix, when I was pulling into the parking lot, and I was pulling in to, into the forward luggage space. And as I was doing that, I was almost to the end of the line. And across from me, a woman was coming in an SUV. Peter Brubeck, ladies and gentlemen. Dave Brubeck. I'm sorry.
Peter was his drunk brother.
Was Peter Munchin or Mushin?
What the hell are you talking about?
Another
Peter Marshall.
Player.
Peter Marshall.
No. There was something like Peter Muchin or Mushan. Somebody knows jazz player. Jazz people know. Anyway, there. All right, so I'm pulling my hot rod in. I'm almost there, and all of a sudden, around the corner, the lady comes in from around the car and parks, is aiming for her space right in front of me.
Yeah.
So we're going head to head, now think about this.
Yeah.
So I'm about, I'm probably I'm maybe 2/3 into the space, and she's about 2/3 into the space, and we're looking at each other through the windshields, and we're both going forward, but very slowly, because I'm thinking, well, how far over is the hood of my trunk is my white line, and she's thinking, how far over the hood of my car is my white line. So we're kind of creeping, and then finally I took the initiative. I had my window down. I finally looked. I took my head and I peeked out my window, over the driver's side. I leaped out the window, and I said, I think you're okay for a minute there, and kind of made a little something. And she laughed, and then we made it to the car. We got out of the car, and she said, or she kind of started laughing. I said, well, I guess I didn't have to be as scared of you after all, did I? And then she started laughing, and she was about 50 years old, and she was adorable. And she was laughing and happy about us kind of playing a little bumper game in the parking lot. I mean, it was unbelievable. She was hot. She was gorgeous.
What did you do about it?
I said that and teased her and made her laugh, and then I ran into the store. Well, I was afraid she was going to, what if she said, boy, you're so funny, what's your name, or so whatever, and then what am I going to do with her?
Let me ask a question here.
Yeah. I had it, Julie. I was there. Believe me, I was there.
Neither one of your cars beeps when you come within a few feet of some other object?
In the back. Oh, no, it does. Yeah.
Not in the front?
No, it does. I'm trying to remember. Well, it didn't at that point, so maybe not. But it definitely does in the back.
Well, that's when you really need it.
I think it does. It does with a stationary object. But because we were both moving or something. I think it does beep in the front. Anyway,
I always think it's funny when it goes off on my side, like somebody's
I get that too.
I look and there's a fat chick walking by me on the floor.
yeah, mine goes off too. Anybody going by on the side. Anyway, but she was so sweet and cute and happy. I mean, she laughed. That was the thing. She was happy. It's like Flounder's girlfriend, Veronica. I mean, the one thing you notice about women these days that is so unusual is if you find one who's happy.
Cindy says, and then the woman said, "Where's my salmon?"
Very funny. I'd have bought her a salmon fresh off the dock. Anyway, that's so flirting. And again, what would I have done with a girl? Anyway, but it felt so. It felt great. For a second, for a split second, and then I got scared and ran away. I beat her into the store, so I wouldn't even have to hold the door.
Probably had cooties.
I said this. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. I was so afraid that she was going to be a victim of my charms. I'm talking to the ego in this guy. I really was. But just the look on her face and the happiness and the smile and stuff that I walked so quickly ahead of her after I tipped my cap to her and said, "Have a great day" or something, and walked so quickly ahead of her that I wouldn't have to hold the door for her. That I would get there long before she'd get there.
Gwendolyn says Kimmer is at the stage in his life where he would prefer to have a talking frog instead of the princess.
I'll kiss any frog who might turn into a
for
girl.
$99.99.
I'll kiss that frog.
Okay, we've really gone off the rails. What are you going to talk about
I
here?
don't know. 443. Let's do the other Maui. You want to do the other Maui thing,
yes,
or we care about that guy?
Do it.
This is weird. Now, in Maui, again, they did not blow the sirens when the fire was coming because the guy said the sirens are for tsunamis. And if you blow the siren, people are going to run uphill into the woods, and they would all be burned in, which they were anyway. So that's why we didn't blow the siren, and he's not apologizing for it. Now, the other thing was there was no release of water to combat the fires And there's a guy who's responsible for all water resources named Kalawi Manalua or something or other. He's a deputy director of the Department of Land and Natural something or other. He's a Barack Putticat Divider Obama appointee. And people are saying, well, the blazes were a result of an energy weapon laser, which talk about nonsense. Others said that there was an old video of a state water official named this guy, Manuel, has been surfacing now after this blaze happened in Maui on social media. Now the comments are resurfacing, proving that he considered water so holy that he didn't want to use the water to put out the fire. That's the implication. That some time ago he is on record as saying, and this was just a couple days ago, that the water. Well, we'll play it. That he's saying water is too holy to be used indiscriminately.
The commission is responsible per our authorizing statute to protect and manage all water resources in the state. One Water is like taking it and looking at it from a holistic system perspective. And that's not any different than how Hawaiians traditionally managed water. You know, in essence, Native Hawaiians treated water as one of the earthly manifestations of a god and a kua, kane. And so that reverence for a resource and that reciprocity in relationship was something that was really, really important to our worldview and well-being, right? And living in an island, isolated from other, civilizations.
Water's holy.
And so I think where it shifted to
He's
today,
the Kamala Harris of Hawaii.
or over time, is that we've become used to looking at water as like something which we use.
Yeah,
and not
on fire.
necessarily
That's why it's there, sir.
That
I'm
we
sorry,
revere as that thing that gives us
using,
life.
not for
Right? I
looking.
mean, to me, it's a shift in value set. And
shift.
If we can start to really look at how we as humans in an island can reconnect to that traditional value set.
It's the State of the Union.
Really, my motto is always.
I don't care. Kill this guy. I don't care about this idiot. I mean, but again, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's just. By the way, our buddy Vivek, who simply is coming up in the polls.
He's third.
Yeah, and looking, and we were talking earlier whether you think he might be a great vice presidential candidate.
I think he'd be a wonderful vice president.
I don't think there's any way he'll be leading the ticket. I mean, I don't think it'll ever happen. Just on general principle of
maybe in 4 years.
Yeah, but again, I think I'd appreciate this guy in a vice president.
Oh, hell yeah.
I've never, I mean,
They showed him today in Iowa talking to, I don't know if she was trans or she was gay or whatever, LGBT, whatever. Yeah. And she comes up there and it looks like it's an irate exchange at first, but at the end they're shaking hands and he talked to her and it was reasonable.
The other day he had a conversation with an AI bot. And trying to convince the A-bot to try to convince him to whether they would eliminate the human race or something. And I mean, this guy can talk to anybody. He's so smart. He hasn't, and also he hasn't gotten himself in trouble, which is kind of unusual.
What are we playing here?
Oh my God! It's time for a break.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not. No, we got. What are we
did
playing?
We go right through the break?
We normally break at 5, but you guys are going on.
I'm sorry, Flounder. I don't know what I'm
right
doing.
on by.
All right, Vivek coming up, and also President Pants on fire, hitting on little girls again, and bragging about his accomplishments. Standing by next, 447. There you go. forced to cancel a concert on this day in 1965 in their UK tour at Guildhall, Portsmouth. There were 4,000 tickets, and they only sold 250 of them. Oh, my goodness. And this was in their highlight in 1965.
So you're saying they were grounded?
The Birds were grounded, yes, forced to give it all up there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Important day in history today. Two ways of looking at it. I'll play a little bit of this song. I used to like this song. It's this nice old 60s rock and roll song.
Bob Dylan.
There we go. Bob Dylan, yeah. Magic, swirling.
So you think this guy has a good voice compared to Jim Morrison?
Well, I can hear him. I can understand his words and hear what he's saying, and I think he has a nice voice. Yeah,
we're never going to convert it to real music.
It's not going to happen. Here's a wandering. It's a great song.
Who sings this?
It's a Birds.
Let's keep it that way.
Thank you, Mr. Tambourine Man. This day, 1992. Here's one way of looking at this history note, as I have it here in my hot little hands. Woody Allen on this day admits he was having sex with his daughter. Well, Soon Yi, the adopted daughter of Mia Farrow. Woody was 35 years older at the time, and Mia had found some of the pictures Woody had taken of his daughter with no clothes on. President White Trash has offered him a pardon if he'll share the pictures. Now, this is what Flounders history guy writes on this very same day. Hold on, I gotta find it. Here we go. On the very same day, in 1992, Woody Allen admitted that he was gyrating about the adult genitalia of Mia Farrow's adopted daughter, Soon Yi Previn. But Woody and Soon Yi are still together, so who are we to judge? And in fact, that's sort of a point, but it's still kinky. I mean, it was his adopted daughter. She was a kid. She was, she
was a
baby.
child when he started having sex with her.
He was taking naked pictures of her, and Mia Farrow found them.
He's a pedophile.
He's a pedophile. I mean, you have to be.
He's a pedophile,
a pervert to be able to. I mean, and again, taking picture. I mean, that's even the creepier part of it. It's just, I don't know, documenting your perversion.
Well, he was a filmmaker.
I don't know. It just seems to me that it's even worse. That it's like you're proving, hey, I got her when she was a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, even to me, that's even worse. Well, obviously not worse than having sex with a young girl, but in my mind, for his mind, anyway. Okay, just to wrap this up, Vivek really quickly said about the Maui catastrophe, despite residents petitioning state officials to send more water for firefighters to protect their properties from fire, the request went unanswered for hours, withholding critical aid to islanders. We're learning the official delayed the approval is an Obama Foundation Asia-Pacific leader and climate activist who believes water should be revered, as we heard of godlike. The DEI agenda, equity, inequity, what do they call it? Equity,
diversity,
diversity, equity, and inclusion is literally costing people their lives. Hawaii's Democrat Governor Josh Green says people are fighting against the release of water to fight fires that needs to be explored further. Duh.
Yeah.
Your number one duty is to protect your freaking citizens.
I said duty.
I said duty. Okay, now you mentioned...
But once again, a state run by Democrats failed completely. Failed.
How many more examples of evidence do we need about failures of leadership? Just take a look at the states that are having the worst time of it all. New York, California, Chicago, Illinois, go one after another. And guess who their leaders are?
Democrats.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, let's see. A couple of quick newsy thing here. 4:55 already. We haven't done can we do a Flounders Funny? Have you got a Flounders Funny? I've been lack. He's running around there because he's got to do two things in there.
I think I got one on hand right here. This is actually another Ron White one, but this one made me laugh.
All right, sure. Well, laughing is good. Is there a little Ron White?
So I've got a really good job. I like my job. It's important to have a good vocabulary. Actually, I haven't always had a good vocabulary. When I was young, if I'd known the difference between antidote and anecdote, my friend Bob Schneider would still be alive today. He got bit by a copperhead. I'm reading him humorous stories out of Reader's Digest.
Anecdote and antidote. Very funny. 4:56. Let's get President Pants on fire here, Flounder, if you don't mind. Again, this is just amazing. He's giving a speech from the East Room of the White House on the one-year anniversary of his the Biden Inflation Act. It's not a reduction; it's a Biden Inflation Act, no question about it. And touting his accomplishments, and then he kind of lost it where he gets his angry. I'm going to tell you a thing or two. Comment. Here's your president stupid.
Name me a single objective we've ever set out to accomplish that we've failed on. Name me one in all of our history. Not one.
He started by saying they're telling us America's failing. Let me tell you, they're dead wrong. They're dead wrong. America isn't failing. America's winning. I've said 1,000 times there's no quit in America. And then name me one single thing. And then, my God, forcing the COVID jab, scheming to enact abortion radicalism, tanking his own approval, letting babies go hungry, driving up inflation. I've paid gas $5.10 yesterday. But the Afghanistan withdrawal, don't even start me on that. And thank God that the people at Fox are at least still keeping up with it. And every once in a while, you're hearing some of the families who lost loved ones, military members from that incredible treasonous withdrawal from Afghanistan. It was just unbelievable.
Handing that hard. They basically, the women now can't even go to school anymore, can't hold jobs.
In fact, just now, the announcement came out yesterday. Now the control of the country, once again, back to the guys who are saying women are no longer able to go to school and forget this whole working thing.
So why were we there in the first place?
Think about this. Think about if you happen to have been born in that country and live in that country, and all of a sudden you're told that your 10-year-old daughter can no longer go to school. And she can no longer go outside alone or with her girlfriends.
Why would anyone ever trust us again? Why would, from Vietnam to then, we have turned our back and basically stabbed them in the back.
That's right. We fled. Because we didn't have the balls to do it. If you're gonna go to war, do the war.
Do it.
Oh, we can't bomb them into the Stone Age. Yes, you can. And then they'll never do it again.
It'll only be 14 years.
You think Japan's going to try to turn on America anytime in the future?
Well, we talked about this before. We stood on the necks of Germany and Japan and a little bit of Italy for 10 years. We stood on their necks and we gave them a constitution. We told them this is what you're going to do. And look where they are now. Some of the most stable democracies in the world.
And to our biggest trading partners and our allied partners.
So if you're going to do it right. We can nation. Well, you can't nation build. Oh, hell yes, you can.
Yeah.
If you have the balls to do the back. So, and my thing is, if you're not going to do that, don't go to war. Don't go into Iraq unless you're going to do it right.
Right.
It took the surge.
Otherwise, it's exactly what Dwight Eisenhower said: beware the industrial complex, military-industrial complex, because they're in it because they're in it to survive. That's what they do.
And they're calling
you can't blame them. That's their business.
It's now the never-ending war. It's the neocons that were Republicans 20 years ago. Now they're Democrats.
And again, it's not going to end until we stop voting for liberals in office. Please get rid of the senators from Georgia and start over. I mean, come on. This is the whole reason we're talking about it. Almost 5 o'clock. Holy crap, it's sports coming up. And we got so much I can't even begin to tell you. We got it. I find out what it is in a minute. Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right of bike. Ready on your dog. Target. I want to hear them boys suck and win. Road guards out. Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kiver 503 with Pete Davis, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire. Tomorrow, Holy Crap at Sports, I'm guessing at some point on Friday, possible?
Could be early tomorrow morning. Could be Saturday night.
Oh, you know. Well, I would at some time in the next little time.
I get tired when I get home on time.
I don't blame you. And the mechanical mangler Flounder at the controls here, as always. And a happy Thursday. Kind of almost feels like Friday. Yesterday felt like Friday, and today for you felt like Friday. So we're going to get a Friday tomorrow. Anyway, how's it going? Here's a number if you want to join us. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. We are on Rumble and YouTube, and we're getting some nasty comments. Some of these people don't like the Kimmer. Anyway, by the way, I forgot to mention, that Flounder's lady, Miss Veronica, came up here yesterday after the show. We went to the ball game together, and I was mentioning that I felt so terrible that I didn't get a chance to take a little selfie video to introduce her to the fans of the show and so forth, because she's so pretty and happy and everything. And she said, well, she'd be happy to do it any other time. I should warn her, though, because if I take a picture of her with me, I'm going to tell everybody she's my girlfriend. So just, in case there's any lawsuits later. Anyway, 505, we got a whole bunch of newsy things to do here. Holy Crap at Sports is coming up shortly. A couple of newsy, if you didn't hear what Alan Dershowitz has come out with, this encapsulates everything that is wrong with what's happened, particularly lately in Fulton County, as a representation of what's going on in America these days. Attorneys doing their jobs are now facing federal convictions and jail time, prison time. Absolutely outrageous. A whole bunch of that coming up. First of all, let's do Alan Dershowitz, shall we? Alan Dershowitz has made this comment, and again, I'm going to read a whole bunch of this that I think this is exactly why we should be concerned. And I'm surprised that there aren't more lawyers speaking out along with him. He says, quote, Al Gore, his legal team, and I tried to find uncounted presidential votes, lobbied officials, and fought in the courts in 2000. The only difference now, the candidate's name is Donald Trump. That's why this prosecution is an outrage. Electoral challenges have long been part of American history, only now they're being criminalized. Alan Dershowitz writes, I was one of the lawyers involved in objections to Florida's presidential vote in 2000. A margin of less than 600 ballots determined that George Bush, rather than Vice President Al Gore, won the state and thus the Electoral College vote. I was convinced then, and I am convinced now, this result was wrong. No one was indicted, disbarred, disciplined, or even much criticized for those efforts, yet here we stand today. President Donald Trump and 18 other defendants have been charged with election fraud, conspiracy, racketeering, and more under a new law designed to take down criminal organizations known as the RICO Act. Should Al Gore have been charged in 2000? What about me? I represented the voters of Palm Beach County, many of whom voted by mistake for Pat Buchanan rather than Gore because of the infamous butterfly ballots and hanging chads that prevented their votes from being accurately counted. During the course of our challenges, many tactics similar to those employed in 2020 were attempted. Lawyers wrote legal memoranda outlining possible courses of conduct, including proposing a slate of alternate electors who would deliver our preferred election results to Congress. And now Trump and his attorney Rudy Giuliani, along with others, are accused of a conspiracy to commit forgery and false statements for drafting their list of alternate electors. In 2000, Florida state officials were lobbied to secure recounts in selected counties in which we thought the tally would favor us. We were trying to find at least 600 votes that would change the result. The new indictment features Trump's phone call with Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, which was captured in audio recording. In the conversation, Trump asks Raffensperger to find 12,000 votes. In my mind, this call is among the most exculpatory pieces of evidence. Trump was entitled as a candidate to ask a Georgia state official to locate votes that he believes were not counted. In 2000, attempts were made to influence various Florida officials to recount the votes. And now the former president's request that Georgia's Republican Speaker of the House reconsider the count is being charged as soliciting a public official to violate his oath. Now, Trump and his attorney Rudy Giuliani, along with others, are accused of conspiracy to commit forgery and false statements for drafting their list of alternate electors. The fundamental truth of this indictment is that if this evidence of specific crimes were compelling, there would be no need to charge under the onerous intent requirements of the RICO and conspiracy laws. The proof is not compelling because these electoral challenges have precedent. Once again, as with the preceding 3 Trump indictments, the law is being stretched to its limits to order and to snare a former president. Quote, "Show me the man, I'll show you the crime." The infamous Soviet-era boast attributed to Joseph Stalin's chief of the secret police. Is this really what our country has become? When prosecutions are rooted in the fickle ground of politics and not the solid rock of justice, everything will crumble. Alan Dershowitz.
Show me the man, I'll show you the crime. Berea.
This is he did the same thing. Al Gore did the same thing. Every Democrat did the same thing 23 years ago, and they were cheered for it to try to get America for the righteous election result, which they, to this day, deny.
All this questioning of elections started with Al Gore in 2000.
That's right.
A Democrat.
Denying the election results. How many times have we heard Stacey Big Fat Loser Abraham saying, I'm the winner, he didn't win, I won.
You have Rachel
I deny the election.
You have Rachel Maddow interviewing Hillary Clinton, and both of them talk about this is bad for democracy to have any party that loses seriously. And then they have them on tape saying the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's wrong for Trump to deny the election of the rightful voters of the election. You're a treason, a traitor if you try to overthrow that election, which is what you liberals did 23 years ago. And the lawyers finally are saying, holy smokes. Some of the John Eastman, one of the very famous lawyers around here, and one of the defendants says lawyers everywhere should be sleepless over this latest stunt to criminalize their advocacy. This is a legal cluster bomb that leaves unexploded ordinances for lawyers to navigate statements to condemning the indictment. What?
Let's lighten it up a little bit here.
All right, what do we got?
We have a man who wants to do some impressions for us.
Oh, we got our impersonator.
Christian
Normally it's Friday, but Christian's here on a special Thursday edition of Christian, the anonymous impersonator, here with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Christian, welcome aboard, sir, and how can you entertain us today? Hello, Christian. Yes.
I got Beavis the Butthead once say about Barbie who sucked at the movie.
Who's this?
Butthead.
Oh, it's a Butthead, Peter. Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, hey, Butthead.
Hello. You know that Barbie sucks?
Yeah, Barbie. The movie?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it sucks.
Watch a lot of that, did you, as a kid?
Okay, I think we got it. Thank you, Christian.
Christian, thank you. That was wonderful.
It was.
Again, next week.
Great.
Look forward next week. Once again, Christian, totally on a volunteer. A volunteer helper for the Kimmer program, ladies and gentlemen.
Best Beavis and Butthead I've ever heard.
Oh, it's a tremendous opportunity. Wonderful opportunity.
For us to go to
I'll tell you what, Flounder, get the other President Stupid Pants on Fire soundbite right here. We'll do it right before our break. We got like quick 20 seconds. The President Stupid making a remark involving kids again the other day in front of an audience in the East Room. He was talking about his inflation act to raise inflation, and then he said this.
I want to say one thing to your children. I know some really great ice cream places around here. And Daddy owes you. Okay? So talk to me afterwards.
Daddy owes you.
Talk
to me afterwards.
Call me Daddy.
A month ago, he made the middle of a speech to the NEA. He started talking about a woman in the crowd he knew years ago. Said, we go back a long way. She was 12 and I was 30. He's
a pedophile.
Jeez.
He's a pedophile. Let's
He's a pedophile. He told a girl in California, don't have any serious guys till you're 30. Fool around before that. Holy God. Anyway, 5:13. Pete, holy crap, it's sports is next with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Oh, my God, it's coming in. And Christian Leitner, 54. I hate Christian Leitner. We'll talk about that. But first, holy crap at sports with Pete Davis.
Let's see how on the ball our board operator is. Let's start with this nugget of joy, a home run.
Yes.
Eddie Rosario to the plate, and he hits a high fly ball towards left center field. Bader going back. Bader to the wall. Put some muscle into that thing.
Whoa.
A 2-run homer, Eddie Rosario. And it's 2-0 Braves.
Ben Ingram on 680 The Fan. Gosh, he does a good job
He
there.
does a great job.
Let's see. The Bravos sweep the Yankees, and I'll say it again. They sweep the Yankees. The Yankees lose. The Yankees lose.
John Sterling.
I hear he's a good guy.
I assume he's
they won 2-0 last night, shutting him out the last two games. A display of dominance not seen since the Marquis de Sade entered a Parisian whorehouse. Charlie Morton was unhittable, especially with that curveball from hell, as one teammate described it. It's the first 3-game sweep of the Spankies by the Braves in franchise history.
That's amazing.
They outscored the Yankees 18-3. They're off today before the Giants come to town Friday night for 3 over the weekend. Then the woeful Mets are here for 3. The Spanks have not had a runner touch third base since Monday.
Oh, man.
They're so bad.
That's not a good sign.
You listen to the New York guys and everything. Oh, yeah, I think Cashman will keep his job, and I think Aaron Boone should keep his job. Good. Keep them. Please keep them.
Yeah.
The Falcons are placing interior offensive lineman Matt Hennessy on injured reserve. He hadn't practiced since July 28th. He suffered an injury at that time. He was the first-team left guard to start camp, was expected to compete with rookie second-round pick Matt Bergeron to start. Bergeron consistently been the first-team guy, and looks like he's going to be the clear favorite to start.
Good for him as a rookie. Outstanding.
Out of Quebec, I believe. A little over a year ago, Anheuser-Busch pulled the sponsorship from the Dan Snyder-owned Washington Commanders.
Yes.
It was beneath them, they said.
Yeah.
The team has announced that the failing beer company is now back.
Oh, no.
Why would you take them back?
I can't imagine.
Why would you want to be associated with Anheuser-Busch right now?
Yeah.
They
need the money. I mean, do they need the money?
I don't know. They don't care how much money they have. They always want more.
Yeah.
How bad does Stanford and Southern Methodist want to join the Atlantic Coast Conference?
Southern Methodist, Texas?
Yeah.
And Stanford, California?
That'd be correct. No, it's Stanford, Kansas.
No, wait a minute. My guys, I remember we used to have the Braves in the Western Division. I mean, come on, you're killing
Atlanta. Well, we just had the Big Ten take over.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Southern Cal.
Well, then why don't they just start over and just call it the A Division, the B Division, the C? I mean,
we're going to have.
It's no longer South anything or North anything or Midwest anything.
We're going to be down to 2 or 3
Pacific anything. Yeah,
within 5 years.
Yeah. Well, you might as well do it and just organize it.
Well, my question was, how
what's the
much
difference?
does Stanford and SMU want to be in the ACC?
How much do they want to be in there?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
I was curious.
They got Cardinal alum Condoleezza Rice and former President George W. Bush to call the ACC poobahs and beg them to let them in.
I don't know. Better competition, worse competition. I mean, why would they want to do that?
Because their Pac-12 is gone.
Well,
they don't have a conference anymore. They want to be somewhere. Big Ten just said, we don't want you. The Big 12 said, we don't want you. I don't know. Why wouldn't someone want Stanford? It's easy to beat them, and the grade point average just shoots through the roof.
Well,
it's like Duke. It's like having Vanderbilt in the SEC. It's a big help.
There you go.
I hear Oregon State is offering free beavers to get someone to take
That's
them.
what I heard myself.
Most college football coaches want their players to keep their cool, not Deion Sanders.
Oh, no.
During Colorado's practice Tuesday, a fight broke out between the players. Most of the other players joined in, but a few did not. Sanders burst into the huddle and berated the guys who didn't take a swing. Quote, if one fights, we all fight. You understand that? I don't want you to see any of you walking off when somebody's fighting. Never again.
Wow.
End quote.
That could be interesting.
It's going to be so much fun watching him coach Colorado this year.
I hope we can see him. Are we going to see him?
They're the first game on Fox.
Okay.
Yeah. Tennis star, here's your good friend Stefanos Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas.
Confronted a female, because you said last week you didn't care a thing about it.
Boy, Georgia Tech, I care about,
He confronted a female fan during his match yesterday in Cincinnati. No. He claimed, first of all, they call it the Cincinnati Masters. Please, do not attach the word Masters, anything to do with Cincinnati. Yeah, but anyway, he claimed she had made buzzing noises in an attempt to distract him. He was up against Ben Shelton. He thought a bee was falling around the court. All right. So he's the number 4 ranked player in the world. He made an attempt to swat at the bug with his racket several times before he realized there was no bug there. It was an old woman behind him.
Oh, my God.
Going bzzz.
That is annoying. Oh my God.
So he went straight to the umpire and told on her.
I would say, hey, I'll go over and hit her with a racket.
How about just ignore?
Hey, shut up, lady. How about that?
Okay.
No, you can't do that. You can't have somebody doing the Chinese water torture with one guy.
Mr. Golfer. Everyone's got to be quiet.
Well, then everybody should be yelling.
There's a ball sitting there completely still, but everybody be quiet. But meanwhile, a baseball player, the hardest thing there is to do in sports, has to hit a curving baseball at 99 miles an hour with 45,000 people screaming at him.
The umpire in the chair always calls for quiet when there's a ruckus going on in the crowd, and this would be no objection if she was deliberately picking on one guy trying to affect this game.
Is going down. That's why tennis is going down. You got to get the fans involved. Well, what is golf doing? The Phoenix. One in Phoenix where the people screaming, and everybody looks for it. The players love it.
Right. And there's a couple places like that now. It has actually grown. It had been more. But again, I mean, if you're deliberately trying to mess up a guy's game, well, then everybody should be able to do it.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's a whole different story.
All right, then. I think it's funny.
I think I'd have said something to her.
Maybe you should be a little more mentally tough.
Well, I think well, anyway.
I would have laughed.
I would have done something, I guarantee you.
Okay. On this date, August 17th in 2001, Greg Maddux outdueled Levon Hernandez, a 2-1 Braves win over the Marlins. John Smoltz struck out 4 and picked up his first regular season save.
Excellent.
There. By the way, he was with the Braves TV crew the last few days. He was very interesting. Listening to him. Yeah. And of course, they just bashed Glavin the entire time.
Yeah, that was funny.
And they broke his pencil sharpener.
Did you see they're going to come back and do all four of them?
Oh, yeah. Next week
the
against
23rd.
The Mets. The 23rd. But the funny thing, they broke Glavin's pencil sharpener, and it kept reminding me of the time that Don Rickles broke Johnny Carson's cigarette box on his desk.
On the desk.
And then Carson came back, and McMahon told him, that was Rickles.
Yeah.
Who broke this? What happened here? Well, Rickles. Rickles broke it. And he went next door with the camera and interrupted. It's one of the classic TV moments. 1966, Willie Mays homered and moved into second place in the all-time list as the Giants beat the Cardinals 4-3. Who was number one on the list in 1966?
Number one of total home runs?
Yeah.
Probably Babe Ruth.
It took you, oh my God, it took you far too long to think of that.
I didn't know whether you're talking about that year or Babe Ruth, right?
Yeah, Babe Ruth.
Well, there you are.
1973 at Shea. I don't want to hear about Wrigley Stadium or
Willie Mays
Field or the Willie Mays story. Yeah, you're right.
Well, the time we were together.
That's true. 1973.
Nobody really wants to.
Shea Stadium. 42-year-old Willie Mays.
Me and Willie Mays. Who would be interested in me and Willie Mays having a conversation where he told me to basically? Oh, I'm sorry.
Hit his 660th and final home run of his career in a 2-1 loss to the Reds. That was Willie Mays.
Willie Mays.
Your good friends. By the way, I was actually sad when Aaron passed him. I was a Willie Mays guy. I was not an Aaron guy. Yeah. For some reason, of course, I started following baseball when we were in Washington, so I was more of a Orioles guy back then. But in '69, when we moved here, it's like, oh my God,
Well, I can relate to that because actually, as I was growing up and following baseball as a younger man, Hank Aaron wasn't getting a lot of publicity. You didn't see Braves games or Milwaukee games. You saw, you played. It's all Willie Mays.
It was sad. Of course,
you never saw. I never saw Hank Aaron. I almost never saw. I don't think I remember seeing Hank Aaron hit a ball on TV maybe twice in my life. Honestly, until I moved here, they just never showed it. They never played Braves games where I was.
It's true. Let's see. 1985, Reggie Jackson, his 522nd career homer to pass Ted Williams and Willie McCovey, and moving to 8th place in the all-time list. What are you doing? You're on camera, He just stood up in the middle of my sports, in my eye line. He stood up and stuck his left hand down his pants. It's just now that I want a professional workplace, damn it. All I ask is for the 5 minutes that I'm doing my sports is that you don't touch your unmentionables in front of me. That's all I ask. Do I stand up and grab my Johnny and the good boys? No.
It couldn't be helped.
What was going on?
It was kind of an emergency.
What? What could possibly? What, a red bug bite you? Or got an itch?
No, I got to get smaller underpants. I've lost so much weight. Sometimes there's an issue.
Sometimes they bite. Oh, my God.
I got one more sports things for you.
All right, go for it.
In fact, you'll know this story probably better than I do, and I'm reading it.
All right.
On this day, 1957, I'm going to say a name here, and you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. 1957, Richie Ashburn
The Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah.
Oh, the foul ball.
Yeah, there you see.
Go for it.
Okay, Richie Ashburn of the Philadelphia Phillies in 1957 on this day hit a foul ball, and it accidentally nailed Alice Roth in the stands and broke her nose.
Yeah.
The woman got hit by a foul ball, broke her nose, blood flying everywhere. So they came up with a stretcher and took Alice off on the stretcher, and Ashburn hit her with another one. He hit her twice.
It wasn't she the wife of like one of the Phillies executives or something?
Yeah, she was some big shit. Yeah.
They got her in the gurney. They're taking it out. Crack.
Wham. Oh, my. Oh, mercy. Not a good side. It's 5:27. Right? The Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Here's the number, 404-741-1230. 741-1230. Let's see. Just a quick kind of social media thing. Britney Spears, apparently after 14 months, is now being sued for divorce. Apparently her husband says she's been cheating on him. After 14 months of marriage. Oh, you're seeing the pictures now delayed of me standing up or what? What are you smirking over there?
Kimber said, Cindy said, wow, Kimber just adjusted live. You did, right in front of the camera.
I'm not familiar with cameras. You have to take cameras everywhere. Guy can't have any damn privacy in his own studio. Anyway, Britney Spears, I guess, was cheating on her husband of 14 months.
She looks bad. I just saw photos of her.
She's a I
remember how hot she was in Toxic, video?
Yeah, but that didn't last. She looks, to me, I mean, she really looks kind of like clunky.
It's hard to look at her now.
Like, I don't want to say manly, but just, just
unattractive.
Clunky. Is what and sort of grody is
like most women from Louisiana when they turn about 30.
Yeah, it's over pretty much. And Glenn Beck got kicked off Apple and iTunes or what?
They took his podcast off. We don't know if he's back on or not. I'm gonna have to check and see if we're on.
Do we know anything about it?
No.
I mean, I did, and I heard him talking about it, but was there a reason? I mean, I haven't heard any.
In fact, let me look it up.
Cause or anything. While we do that, by the way, also, thank you, Denise, our friend Denise. I gave our friend Denise, who single-handedly tried to save our podcast by donating every month to our podcast, has also been very sweet about listening to this ridiculous little radio program, and she has sent a card to Flounder for your birthday, and she sent it to me because she didn't know whether I still have the mail box, the post office box, which I do for a little while yet, but anyway, so I brought that card into Flounder. Have you had a chance to open it yet?
I have not opened it yet.
Okay.
So I will wait till I get home to open, and we'll.
Excellent. Anyway, so Denise sent a card, and by the way, and Pete brought in cupcakes. We missed Flounder's birthday. I mean, we blew it like always. But I bring you snack crackers every day.
I was on vacation for my birthday.
Well, that's right. So anyways, but again,
we have a statement from Apple.
Oh, we do. Excellent. Here you go.
Let's see. Apple spokesman told Variety the program had been removed due to a trademark dispute, which has since been resolved and the episodes have been restored.
Hasn't he mentioned a product or something?
I don't know.
Maybe?
I don't know.
I don't know what the rule is. But again, is that his picture?
By the way, that's not a good picture, Glenn.
He's gained 400 pounds.
That looks like he's on steroids. You know, when your face blows up.
Oh, my God. He should take some of that Relaxium.
That would help a lot.
The Comatomium.
I know. If I looked like that, I'd be taking an overdose of Relaxium.
Never awakium again.
I can't talk right now, but come on, Glenn. At least he's still got hair.
He's got hair. He's got hair. He's got a great head of hair.
He does.
Oh, my God, man. I'll go. Yeah, actually. Oh, it's 5:30. My God, I'm already late for the break. All right, hold on. We got more.
That's not a good photo either.
No, it's not a good one. Not attractive. I got 5:30. Look out. Here we go. We'll be back.
They do that on
Very good. Welcome aboard. How'd you like to have 800,000 of them instead of a few thousand? Anyway.
With 2, you get egg roll.
Good Lord. 5:34.
Are we going to kill ourselves to this music?
Yeah, we're going to just end it right now. Just give me a bag or a plastic sheet or something. It was on this. It's a Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Look at it. Here we go. I can't even see that. 1959, American jazz trumpeter Miles Davis released Kind of Blue, which is regarded by many critics as jazz's greatest record. Davis's masterpiece, Miles Davis, and one of the best albums of all time.
I feel about this music the way you feel about The Doors.
Oh, my God. Its influence on music, including jazz, rock, and classical genres, has led writers to also deem this as one of the most influential albums ever recorded.
Shannon Burke's a big fan.
Shannon Burke's big?
He's a big
jazz fan. God, you couldn't. I mean, if I were with a hot chick and she was going to do stuff later, I'd take her to go watch live jazz. But that's
I think
it.
There's 4 jazz tunes.
I think I went
in
to
my life that I
didn't
like.
Dante's Inferno used to have jazz?
Yeah.
I remember going.
With the albino alligator.
And it had an alligator in there. I remember the alligator in Dante's Inferno. They had a couple of Dante's. One near Lenox Square or Phipps or something.
Yeah, Lenox. That's
Lenox,
one the last I went to. And you came out smelling like fondue for a week.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a little jazz action. All right, there you go on that. Also, on this day in history, hold on a second. Have I found it? No, I can't find it now. Oh, yeah.
Must not have happened.
On this day in history, President Slimy Cheat Fibber President Bill Clinton admitted to a grand jury and the American public that he indeed has done something wrong. Flounder? I'm sorry, did I not give you enough advance notice?
So, which one did you want?
The presidential comment of President Slimebag in 1998.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, here we go, right here.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie. Not a single time. Never. Indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong.
Yeah.
It constituted a critical lapse in judgment and a personal failure on my part for which I am solely and completely responsible.
That's the exact moment he lost me. And I was a Clinton supporter, worked in his campaign in 92, voted for him in 96 again. And he lost me the instant he did that. Because he wagged his finger, remember?
Yeah.
I said, if you're lying to me, you son of a bitch.
Right.
And he was.
And the worst part about that was, I remember very specifically later, was even his staff turned on him when the later part of that address was when where he basically complained about all the people giving him grief about it and destroying his presidency. He started blaming other people for it, and even his former press secretary, the female, I can't remember her name now, said, "Oh my God, what are you doing? Don't leave it alone."
Stop talking.
I mean, it's just he's just unbelievable. A non-apology apology. A Flounders guy addresses it this way: Clinton gave a grand jury testimony via closed-circuit TV from the White House about his relations with Monica Lewinsky. Then delivered a TV address. He denied previously committing perjury, admitted his relations with her were wrong, and then he started criticizing Ken Starr. That's what got him. He said, for Ken Starr to try to uphold the presidency of the and people are going, "Oh my God, stop talking!"
Now you know how we feel when you start talking about following women around Publix.
Well, there you are.
Stop talking.
Well, we left one in the parking lot, and I bet I could have had her. I bet I could have had a date. I bet I could have taken her out for a drink after groceries.
We have a phone call. Tim wants to tell you a dirty joke. Is that what?
Well, now wait a minute.
Well, he called earlier this week and told it's not like a dirty joke on air.
Now, can we air it or not?
Well, if not, I'll dump it.
All right, we have a dump button. All right, so is this Tim now on the radio? Tim, welcome aboard. Welcome, and you're on the radio. What's up?
Good afternoon, Kimmer. Always good to hear you guys. They keep busting on you about appreciating these young women. I just wanted to tell you to tell them the difference between a dirty old man and a young man is about 40 years.
Yeah, there you are. Maybe some money. All right, thank you, Tim. 5:38 already. God, I can't believe it. A couple of actually serious things going on here, which are very... Oh, before I do that, did you the documentary on Christian Laettner, was it a movie or documentary? I remember seeing it. I thought it was so funny.
I can't
They
watch.
hated it. Was it UNC against Duke?
Hell, they hated him when he played here for the Hawks.
my
Everybody
God.
hated him.
But wasn't that the documentary about when he was a Duke?
Dookie.
And
he hit that last shot against Kentucky.
And there was a whole documentary on, we hate they sold T-shirts. I mean, it was...
Because he was, you know why? Because he's a douche.
Yeah, he was a douche. And a primmy, white, pasty-faced white
And they
man.
hated him here at the Hawks. Everybody hated him.
Yeah, and the documentary, I think it's called "I Hate Christian Hater" later, isn't it? Anyway, if you haven't seen it, if it comes up, it's pretty funny. Okay, some actual things going on with gender stuff, and again, they're trying to get your children. Yep. There's a group called America First Legal, headed by former advisor to Donald Trump, Stephen Miller. You've seen him on Fox. He's been on quite a bit. He's filed a lawsuit against the governor of Washington State, Jay Inslee, to stop the state law which allows minors to get sex surgery without telling their parents. The group says the governor signed the law creating a dangerous incentive for minors who disagree with their parents on gender-affirming care to run away to a shelter or a host home to house, and the bill allows homes to house youths without parental permission. The homes do not need to notify parents if a runaway kid has showed up at their front door. That home does not need to notify the parents of that runaway where their kids are or if they're getting medical intervention, which is a compelling reason to include a youth-seeking protected health services law. It includes gender-affirming care for minors prescribed by doctors to treat their disease, and nobody has to tell the parents of runaways. They're sheltering kids who want to get surgery in the state of Washington. The legislation affirms our commitment to ensuring children have a safe and stable place to go when they are not welcome at home.
Get the names of the doctors who are doing it so you can sue them later out of business.
An incentive for minors to disagree with their parents on their gender-changing care, and they can go to the state of Washington and everything will be fine.
The world has changed. The tide has turned. People are getting away from mutilating children and start suing these doctors.
Well, check this out. Pete just found this story today. The American Medical Association is now suggesting that taxpayers should subsidize up to $300,000 to allow men to get a uterus stuck in their guts. The American Medical Association is suddenly taking a stand on why tranny men should be allowed to get a uterus implanted so they can have the joy of childbirth.
It's Frankenstein stuff.
My God. It argues that the trans women's inability to bear children could cause them experiencing psychological dissonance. It becomes as doctors pioneering uterus transplants believe they are on the verge of allowing men to become women and give birth to their own children. One criticism guy, Dr. Marky Malarkey said, it's Marty Marcari, sorry. He says, my God, the AMA, the American Medical Association, is choosing to focus on activist positions rather than funding important research about transgender medicine. God. What's the regret rate after transition surgery? We should be studying that. What's the long-term implication or complication rates of hormones on youngsters? These studies are not being done. Instead, they've chosen to take an activist position to help men get a freaking uterus. It will allow patients who were born male to have children. Medically, it's possible.
It's abuse to the child is what it is.
Now, here we go. Miss Universe contestants are sounding an alarm after they were, this was in Jakarta this summer. The contestants for Miss Universe in Jakarta were told to strip, take their clothes off and their underwear off so that officials could examine them for scars, cellulite, or tattoos on their bodies. And the girls saying, no, this was they were stripped for body checks. This was sexual harassment. There's even videos taking place of these checks in front of 24 other people, including men at the ballroom at the hotel in Jakarta. The organizer even had videos taken. 5 of the contestants were searched and photographed topless They asked me to open my bra. I couldn't even speak, and I couldn't refuse. When I tried to cover my breast with my hand, I was scolded and yelled at. Again, these are Miss Universe contestants in Jakarta. I was totally confused, nervous, humiliated, especially when I was told, oh my God, especially when I was told to lift my left leg on the chair for an inspection on the inside of her leg. The girls were not aware they would be subjected to body checks.
Are they looking for bed bugs?
Yeah, it might be something else. They're my keys. They're my car keys. I swear to God.
You find them, we can drive it out of here.
Gee. So now the Miss Universe organization is cutting ties with that. Or a franchise was, again, getting the girls ready. My God. Oh, this is hysterical. The Miss Universe organization announced today that they are cutting ties with the Indonesian franchisee. And here's the identity of the franchisee. P.T. Capella Swastika.
What?
The person's name is P.T. Capella Swastika Karya. The director for both Miss Universe Indonesia and Miss Universe Malaysia, Papi Capella, is part of the group. The Capella Swastika Karya organization.
Well, in that part
swastika?
From India over there, in that part of the world, the swastika was long before the Nazis.
It was a peace sign or something, or togetherness of
going the other way. It was the eternal wheel.
Yeah, it was a wheel of happiness. And
Hitler, much like the Klan took over the Confederate battle flag, he took over the swastika and made it what it is.
Anyway, that's what's going on in Jakarta, body checks and stuff. Now the top international chess federation has now ruled that transgender women, men who are thinking they're girls, cannot take part in the International Chess Federation competition for women. Aha! Now, you have to have an analysis of individual cases. It might take up to 2 years, but in the event that a gender was changed from male to female, the player has no right to participate in the official events for women. Tranny men are not allowed to play chess in the women's competition.
Proof that men are smarter. They're admitting men are smarter than women.
It's over, ladies. We're so sorry. Just stay meek like you are now, refusing to act to any of this stuff. Make sure you don't react to any of this gender stuff, because God forbid, they're coming for your daughters and sons. But don't say anything. Keep the way you are. Nice.
Keep drinking that wine
in the background.
Who's the wrestler that always do the whoo? What's that guy's name?
God, now you have to ask me that.
Anyways, he did something funny on Twitter. The other said something on Twitter very funny. He said, "Ladies, you'll never be first, but you can always be next."
Yeah, see if that offends anybody with the Me Too people. Yeah, not anymore. They don't care. It's 5:46, so we're not done yet, baby. Look out. would know this. 1960, the Beatles started what would become a 3-month engagement in Hamburg, Germany. It was their first appearance away from England, and it's where they developed their stage act.
They were doing 3 shows a day.
And they learned how to deal with the crowd and audience and changing positions. And, I mean, the whole thing
Playing with each other.
about the stuff of being a band in a concert.
They were a great, tight band, and no one really knows it because by the time people paid attention, you couldn't hear them.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just screaming when all those teenage girls never heard a word they were singing on Ed Sullivan or at the Met Stadium or anywhere.
Just had to point out before we went to break there, Flounder made us all look like idiots.
Oh, yeah.
Because we couldn't remember Ric Flair's name. We all know him, but it was like, oh, God, what's his name?
Yeah, that's sorry.
Thanks, Flounder.
And speaking of music, on this day in 1969, it was the 3rd and last day of the original Woodstock. Joe Cocker played 11 songs, ended his set with a theme from the Wonder Years with a little help from my friends, also a Beatles.
And 5 billion people say they were at that.
Yeah, that's right. Well, there were almost, it seemed like almost that many. Let's see. In 1992, Wayne Newton filed for bankruptcy. He owed $20 million.
How?
And blamed the recession in 1992.
He was getting millions.
He made $100 million a year in Las Vegas. He was a resident there for 40 years.
The highest paid guy there.
And he got bad. Well, you know, when you have that money, you invest it, and if you invest it in buildings, and then everything goes under.
But I don't understand that.
That's why I lost all my money.
If I got $90 million, $40 million's going in the bank somewhere.
Just buy gold and
just put it
cash.
in the bank, a few banks.
I know.
So you know it's always there.
Believe me, if I ever have any money again, I'm going to do a whole thing. Let's see what we got here. Oh, this was kind of bizarre. In 2007, on this day, 6 research subjects who didn't know they were subjects more than 40 years earlier were awarded about $1 million. In 1939, they were orphans, and Iowa University had researchers try to use psychological pressure and mind games on the orphan children to cause them to develop a stutter. Researchers, Iowa University, wanted to see if they could make children develop a stutter. None actually developed a full stutter, but they were all screwed up by it. And then 39 years later, the evidence came out what had happened to them, and they got $1 million. So, I mean, anyway.
Scientists,
yeah. And the name is science.
I saw something the other day. It really freaked me out that when NASA was formed in the late 50s or whenever it was formed, they put together, they went to the Brookings Institute, a think tank.
Yeah.
And they said, tell us what would happen if we actually see aliens, if we actually find extraterrestrial life when we go to space.
Mm-hmm.
And they said for the next 20 years, Brookings came back and said, next 20 years, 60s and 70s, when you'll be out there on the moon, you probably will not run into any ETs. What you might find is artifacts left on the moon by previous things that came to visit. And it could have been 1 million years ago.
And didn't somebody just find something or wonder about something else?
Well, something on Mars, I think, a door or something. But so the Brookings Institute told them that this is what will happen. This could lead to the breakdown of society if this happens. Because if you look at all these tribes that we find that suddenly find themselves attached to society, like in the Brazilian Amazon forest or Africa or somewhere, they tend to disintegrate when they're put up next to another culture that they feel may be superior. That the culture just disintegrates. And they said the number one group in the Western civilization that would just dissolve and lead the dissolvement of all civilization was, what do you think? What group would
Americans.
be the most impacted?
White men.
No, it's a group, a profession.
Politicians, probably.
Scientists.
Oh, well.
Because scientists are so on top of their world, on top of the pillar that we're in control of nature, that if they suddenly find out they're not the top of the chain, that they will just completely lose it. They will lose their crap. And this is the Brookings Institute saying this.
Well, but they must know it now. I don't think there's any scientist in the world that has any doubt that there are people out there way more smarter than we are, and they live out in outer space.
I think that little thing they put together that NASA did with Brookings, I think that's the reason they have been hiding this from us for the last half century. They're afraid that everything's going to break down.
Well, there's only one possible explanation in my mind of why they haven't revealed the truth, the absolute truth about the aliens from outer space, is that they're afraid that we will all freak out and we'll all try killing each other to try to survive driver, I mean, that we'd freak out. That we'd say, "Oh my God, what's the use of living?" Because we know that they can do whatever they want.
You know what someone's going to do? And smart person, they'll start a religion like L. Ron Hubbard did, but they'll be worshiping these aliens.
Do we have to wear Nikes and then go behind the
Hellbop?
The Hellbop Comet?
The Hellbop. I remember looking at that thing. It's Virginia Highlands. You could look and see it.
Yeah, right. I know.
In San Diego, they took
they all killed themselves in their Nikes because they wanted to go behind them.
Key and Peele did a great comedy thing about that.
They were great.
They showed up late afterwards. They go, "Wait a minute, they're all dead?" And the reporter's going, "Were you part of it?" They're going, "No.
I don't know what you're talking about. Not that we don't want to end the show on a happy note, because this isn't quite the end of the show, so let's all do it here.
Yeah. We're going to be on with Shannon if you want to keep listening.
How do they get
Florida Man Radio.
Florida Man Radio, and just Google it.
6 o'clock.
Whatever, 6 o'clock we do it.
Shannon Burke.
And
just go to the website.
It was really you were the one who was on, and all of a sudden now I'm on because I'm here. But is that okay with him?
I think every once in a while he wants you on there, right?
Well, I don't want to.
Yes.
I don't want to barge in.
No. He wants you on there. He wants you.
Yeah,
on.
that's fine.
Well, I make sure he's
I'm not too big a man to not share the
Well, no,
stage
I
with you.
don't. I just, I was here that day, and you said you want to talk. I said, I'll do whatever you want.
I'm looking forward in the middle of some serious discussion with you two. I'm going to stand up and stick my hands down my pants.
Well, I might just stand up myself. Has he got a video on this? He wouldn't have video on this. This is a bizarre story, and a girl named Mackenzie Shrilla, she's 19, and she had a fight with her boyfriend. She had a relationship with a guy named Dominic, and she wanted to end it all, and she was so ticked off, so she got in a car with her boyfriend and his friend. Dominic is 20, his friend was 19 years old. She got in the car, and then the video surveillance footage of this incident, this is in Cleveland or Alameda Drive in Ohio, and the evidence shows that she was on a mission. She executed it with exact precision. A few days before this early crash she caused, she took the route to plot out the crime. She got them in the car. She said she wanted to kill her boyfriend. She got the car going up to 100 miles an hour and slammed into a brick wall. She was driving. Her boyfriend and his friend in the car, they were both killed, which is what she wanted, and she somehow survived and is in factually pretty good shape. So she goes into court, and the judge found her guilty of 4 counts of murder and other charges altogether for the deaths of the 2 guys. And the conviction is life in prison. She may be paroled at some point. She broke into tears. The judge and the DAs are saying this is chilling, tragic. They saw the evidence. He said, you can't see this evidence and ever unsee it. She had a mission. She executed it with precision. The mission was death. She was a driver, literally hell on wheels. She was 17 when she did it, and killed both of them. God.
I'm thinking about when I was 17, I upset my girlfriend and she was driving. You would never think they would do something like that.
Not my,
But a 17-year-old person is unstable.
In Pennsylvania, there was a tractor pull at the county fair. Brandy Horner is a mother of 2 sons and a wife of a husband of 10 years. And she was near the tractor pull, and all of a sudden a tractor caused an exhaust wheel to dislodge, and the exhaust wheel flew out of the tractor and hit Brandy, and she was 33. County Fair, Pennsylvania, tractor pull, dead woman, mother of 2.
Is there a reason you're closing the show out?
on time at a time? Oh, damn.
Yeah, I told you not to play a dedication after a dead dog story.
Tomorrow we'll make fun of Anna Navarro on The View. How about that?
Oh, my God.
I misread the clock.
Leave them laughing.
Oh, I gotta go. You're killing me. Look out. Sorry.